Yo, what up, guys? We are live, so we're gonna have a fun stream, and then Casey's gonna join us later, potentially. We shall see. It was pretty interesting having him on that last time. Andy, I should have checked, but you don't have any kind of issues with Casey, right? You guys are cool.
I don't know Casey, so
Okay,
no.
so there we go. We should be fine then. But yeah, anyway,
Casey Zander? Who is this? Sorry.
No, dude, come on. That dude's never going to come on my podcast after all. I made fun of him. No, the same guy.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Casey, the Casey Redbeard.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I know him as Redbeard. All right. Cool.
You know, funny enough, he invited me to join this like big WhatsApp group of like other dating coaches. Most of them I've never heard of. And I was like saying, I think I'm the biggest brokey here. These guys are like putting screenshots like, oh, here, traded 10,000 in crypto today. That was a good day. I'm like, 10,000? That's like my whole fucking budget. Like, what?
Jesus.
Rich money.
They like part-time coaches, full-time crypto traders or something? What's the story?
I think they're just like, I think they're just really plugged into all that shit. Or at least some of them are. I don't think all of them are. Yeah. But Casey can talk more about that when he joins. Cool. But anyway, so what we were talking about offline is like, okay, so there's a misconception that people think that like, oh, a black pillar is going to be someone that's ugly, and plenty of them are ugly, and they probably skew to be less attractive. But I've had good-looking guys like 7s and 8s. One that you could even argue is like an 8.5, like good-looking dudes, much better looking than me, who were full-on sold on the black pill ideology. Like they thought that they were just not in a good way. Not that they're like, oh, I have it on easy mode. That they're too ugly because they're only 6'1", they're not 6'4", which is the ideal or whatever. Or they're only 6 feet, or they are only, their eyes aren't as blue as whatever. Insert whatever reason. And there's one guy right now specifically who I've been trying to help. Long story, kind of how we met each other, but I just see the black pill. Just like I'll give him like a good piece of advice, and then he does his best to try to apply it. But there's like all this like noisy like black pill programming running in the background, and like when something happens, he interprets the event like really negatively. But also, like for example, fix this profile, and he's like, dude, I am fucking pissed off. I am so done with this shit. I got like fucking this whole weekend, I got only 15 likes, on this app on Hinge. I was like, okay, well, how many likes did you get before we started? 0. Okay, so don't you think you made a lot of progress? Well, yeah, but it's not like as many likes as you're getting. Well, yeah, I've been perfecting my profile for a very long time. We just started this shit. And then he's like, yeah, you're right. I'm just being negative. But it's crazy to see how that shit, it just poisons people's heads, honestly. I don't know. I feel like the best way to describe it is like some fucking nasty infection that just like completely annihilates your mindset and just turns you into a victim loser.
Yeah, it's like a dark cloud that hangs over everything.
Yeah.
Like nothing's good enough.
Yeah, the analogy that comes to mind is people like anorexia that think they're fat. You know what I mean? That's obviously a little bit more extreme, but I feel that the actual objective truth of how good looking someone is plays probably a smaller role. It's probably just a function of, do I get rejected? Yes. Is there a way to cope with this? Yes. What's the easiest thing to point to? And if you're like a white guy that's good looking, like it's hard to point to something. And so maybe the easiest thing is, yeah, I'm not 6'7". Yeah, I'm not better looking. Like it'd be harder to say like I'm not white enough, or it's like my race if you're some like white American dude. But like I think it's just going to be the easiest thing. Or you can point to the goal. Like goals are fucked is probably like the second thing to do there. But yeah, I'm the same. I have students that are like are good looking and they're better looking than me. And I'm like, fuck you. You don't get to complain about the look thing. Like, fuck you, bro. But yeah, it's just a function of that. It's just, as you said, it's hard to look in at yourself and say like, there's behaviors here that I can fix and change. And like, I just need to work at this. It's a lot easier to just blame something, right?
It's crazy how two people can have the same exact sense of events, order of events, and interpret it so differently. Like this is based on a true story. So like one guy, he has a one-night stand with a girl and then she doesn't hit him up after, and he's like bummed out. He's like, dude, I knew I'm too ugly for this shit. Like, this fucking chick, she was so repulsed by me. She wanted to fuck me once, and then she never wanted to hit me up. She probably did it because she was like, she felt pressured. And I'm like, did you pressure her? No, not at all. But she probably, you know, felt like because she was already over and like she had no choice. And, you know, same thing could happen to another guy, right? Like some dude from India. He's like, oh my God, my friend, this was amazing. She fucked me. It was great. It was like she came, like they could totally have different interpretations of the same exact set of events. And one of them gets very encouraged by this event. It's like, dude, okay, fuck, I got laid. This is awesome. Now I'm going to figure out how to, you know, maybe do better next time so she comes back. Or maybe it was just random. Some girls, you fuck, you do everything right. They just want a one-night stand. That happens too. Versus the other guy gets discouraged by the stories like it's not even worth it. Like, what's the point? I just learned that no girl's going to want to see me more than once. And so mindset can make such a huge difference, especially spread out over time. It can mean the difference between literal like success, complete success, and failure. And this applies to everything in life, especially business and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just crazy how much of a role mindset plays and how unwilling some people are to admit that. Oh, Casey's here.
Yeah.
What's up, boys?
Yeah, I'm at the point where I almost say mindset is more important than anything else. How you doing, Casey? Nice to meet you.
Brother. Fellow Redbeard.
Fellow Ginger. Yep.
Fellow Redbeard. Yeah, call it like it is. You two have no fucking soul.
I have half a soul. My hair is brown.
Is that? Oh, yeah. Wait, how did that even happen?
Oh, just lucky. Good genetics, I guess.
Or did you dye your hair?
No.
Is the ginger the good genetics or the brown the good genetics?
Well, I get all the benefit of like having a red beard, but I'm not technically a ginger because I don't have red hair.
All right.
I've never actually seen the hair color be that.
That's a good way to look at things, right? That's a positive mindset right there. We were just talking about guys that basically have like really poor predictive models in their mind. So like they will get rejected, and instead of just like, I've had guys where it just absolutely makes sense. Like the girls will give them the reason as to why they're rejecting them. Like it might even be like, look, I'm in a relationship, I don't want this. Or like they'll say there was a certain behavior that the guy did. Like there was one guy I had in my group, and if he's listening to this, I love you. I'm not having a go at you here, but he was on Snapchat. He saved the girl's photo, right? So screenshotted it, and it came up with like screenshotted the nude. And the girl's like, what the fuck? Like, I can't trust you now or something. And he's like, what do you mean? She's like, you just saved my photo without asking. Like that, like, I can't trust you. Like, what the fuck? Please delete that. And then he posted in the group and was like, why did I lose compliance here? Is it because of, and he listed something else. I forget what cope it was, but like something else, right? And I'm like, dude, you saved the photo. Like this girl told you. It's not your looks. It's not anything else. Like this girl told you what the issue is. And I think sometimes guys are just so good at that, like, I say cope, but it's in, I guess, a positive sense, like a maladaptive behavior where they will try to blame it on something that is a little bit out of their control. It's a little bit of a safety thing. I don't have to change anything. And then, that's what happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it almost becomes a superstition too. Guys will develop superstitions. They'll go, maybe it's because of this. And that's all stuff like the black pill is. It's superstition. It's, oh shit, I bet you if my cheek structure was a little bit more like this, then no girl would ever reject me and I'd have a girlfriend right now. It's like you're just literally pointing at something you've made up and saying that's the reason. And like, no, the answer is because your attitude or your mindset is like 3 out of 10. Like that's putting it politely. You literally hate women. You did like 5 approaches in the last year. That's why you don't have a girlfriend. Plus, even if a girl likes you, that you then think she's a dumb bitch, she shouldn't like me because I'm not a Chad, so she's an idiot, so I can't trust her. Why would I go out with this stupid idiot who doesn't know that I'm not a Chad? That's why you don't have a girlfriend.
What do you guys think about this? So this is let me try to think of how to say this while respecting his privacy. This is a person I know, let's just put it that way, who I have coached at one point or interacted with at one point. And so his issue is that he's 40 years old. He is a virgin, like no joke. Actually, I think he's 41 or something. And he is addicted to porn, and he can't even get hard with a girl. Like he's been in a situation where he was naked or close to naked with a girl, and he couldn't get hard. And he believes that he will never be able to get hard with a girl because he's so addicted to porn. It's a really extreme case. but he's also honest and upfront about like, yeah, this is where I'm at. You know, it's kind of embarrassing to admit, right? But he's upfront about it, which is good. That allows me to help him as a coach. But it's like, and the advice, I'm like, okay, you have to quit porn, and he's not able to. Like, he'll go for a week, he'll go for 10 days, but then he'll go right back to it. And it's not like I'm there physically where he is, so I can fucking, you know, turn his laptop off, like permanent jerk off watch, you know, like I guess that's like the richer, like if you're really rich and you want to quit porn, you can hire the permanent jerk off watch team, and they're like,
jerk off watch team.
Yeah,
it sounds like they're watching it with you. Like there's a team of people jerking off with you. It's like,
no. So as soon as you start, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go in the bathroom. All right, Big Bob is coming with you, making sure.
Yeah, we're watching. Give us your phone before. Yeah, I think like when it comes to an addiction like that, my feeling is there's always like an underlying reason that you're trying to cope with it, right? Like I think for a lot of guys that become addicted to porn, it's not so much a function of just porn is really nice. It's like you're doing it to cope with something else. Like I've had guys addicted to porn before that are really stressed with like their career and their finances, and they're like living at home, they can't sort anything out. And it's like porn is just a really nice way to numb those feelings a little bit or distract yourself a little bit. And I've had students before where like they solve the underlying stress and suddenly they're not addicted to porn anymore. Like it wasn't actually necessarily the porn itself. Like it could have been alcohol or drugs or anything I think that they could have used, but they kind of just resulted to porn. So I think
so. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. So, but get this, you know what the underlying issue is? His failure with girls.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I would almost come at it from both angles.
And even if I couldn't set everything up for him, he can't get hard until he quits porn. When the porn is, I don't fucking know what to do. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's tough.
I've had clients like that. One of my first ever clients was a guy, Ed. He's been very open, so I can use his name. He's come on my channel a few times. And when he came to me, he was 31, a virgin, had gotten close a few times, but like his dick literally didn't work. He'd been to psychologists, therapists. He'd been to like 10 therapists. He'd tried Cialis, Viagra. He'd tried like 10,000 different things. And when he came to me, I literally said like, bro, I don't know how to solve this. Like, you're one of my first clients. I literally just started this coaching shit. I don't know, man. This is a big boy problem, but I promise you I won't quit on you and we'll figure something out. And what helped for us was for him to just admit this shit to chicks and to just straight up be like, look, my dick isn't going to work. I fucking can't guarantee that I'll get hard, but I'm excited to do all the other shit. I'm a virgin. I want to lose it, but I want to learn how to eat pussy like a fucking connoisseur. I want to learn BDSM. I want to learn how to make you feel good. I want to learn all that shit. And we just won't worry about my dick. And maybe my dick will work one day, maybe it won't. And there was a chick that he saw, I think he ended up going to the bedroom with her like 5 or 10 times or something. And they did everything else except sex. And then magically one day, because he wasn't feeling any pressure, because he wasn't worried about his dick getting hard, it got hard. He had sex. He came and posted in the group and said, holy shit, I lost my virginity. So I think like the first thing I would say, man, is like tell your client to like take the fucking pressure off himself. He's making it all or nothing. He's like, my dick has to be hard. It's like, motherfucker, you got hands, you got a tongue, you got your words, you got all this other stuff. And like Markus will probably tell you this shit, like Markus being at the BDSM, there's so many other things you can do in the bedroom that don't involve your dick. Like, I get that the dick is like guys are cock obsessed. Straight guys are like some of the most cock obsessed guys on the planet. If their dick isn't hard, bro, all they're thinking about is cock. Like, there's a naked woman in front of you, you're just thinking about cock. Why is my cock soft? Why can't I have a hard cock?
Sometimes I'm thinking about other cocks too.
Yeah, that's the main reason is the anxiety, right? The performance anxiety.
Yeah, bro.
Unrelated to that, I think that's the number one. I think that's reason 1, 2, and 3 why guys don't get hard is some level of it's kind of like sleep, right? To fall asleep, you can't be thinking, if you're in bed like, oh, if I don't get back to bed, I'm not going to be productive tomorrow, and I'm going to suck shit at my sales calls, and I'm going to make less money, or I'm not going to do well at the gym. That's just going to make the sleep worse. There's certain things that happen that your body just has to do. Like, you can control your, like, breathing just happens, but you can also control your breathing. You can control your arm and like control your eyes, a lot of things, but you can't control sleep. You can't control your dick getting hard or not. They have to kind of just happen when you're relaxed. But porn is fundamentally different because it trains you to associate the pixels and the dopamine of like, I want an Asian chick threesome. Okay, no. I want, a blonde and a Latina, but whatever, doing this and that at the same time. And that constant like,
yeah, before you finish, it's like a 10-guy Japanese bukkake scene with like where there's like fucking squids and like little feral dogs running around and some like fucking black midget getting his ball sucked on by a fucking.
See, Alex, you checked out my search history.
Yes.
Yes, there's that. There are two problems, and they probably just guys can have one or the other, or what's most likely is they have both.
Oh. Yeah, not to make it all about this guy, just the last thing I say, there's also other complicating factors. Like I think that what you said, Andy, is really good. It made sense. The other complicating factors I would say is, number one, this guy has a complete inability to flirt. Like he can't vibe or flirt. He's ultra logical. You know those people, they're just like way too logical.
Yeah, you know what to help with that. There's
some autism, yeah.
Yeah, fucking just go full autismo mode. If you can't flirt, just fucking say what's on your mind. Like that's half of flirting. Is just like you're fucking hot. There you go. That's flirting. I want you.
I think the problem is like his mind doesn't even go there because he's so. I don't know. Whatever. This is like going to be like the case that either makes me or breaks me. No, I mean, it won't. I think the biggest problem though is like I've talking, because this is like a fascinating case, right? Whenever I get someone who's like really unusual from the rest of my clients, I sometimes take a special interest in that because I'm like, all right, if I can overcome this. And I think the biggest thing is probably that he just doesn't really want to improve that much. He's just he prefers to hang on to his existing beliefs about kind of what he's in life, because he's this ethnicity, no woman will find him attractive, that because of his porn problem, he'll never be able to be a good lover. And he would rather have that than to change his life. Especially because
I'll give you 5-to-1 odds that I can guess his ethnicity right now. You put any dollar amount on it. So like, I'll give you.
I think it's obvious.
Do we even need to say
it? Do we need to say it? No.
Because I have one in my head. I go.
Well, he's Indian.
He's Indian, but I think
that was what was in my head.
Or one of the countries close to India, like maybe like one
Bangladesh, Pakistani.
Oh yeah. I think
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean this is really tough, Alex. Some of these guys do have like a helpful hopelessness, I think sometimes, which like it's easier just to give up a little bit. Like if you're 40 and you've got like a porn addiction and you can't get hard with girls and you can't even get girls in the first place, like I think that first understanding for him of like, look, like your mind is doing a really good thing here, where it sometimes feels good just to be hopeless, right? And accepting that a little bit, but then thinking like, what's one thing we can work on? And it might start, honestly, like when I have guys like this, I might start and just say, okay, let's forget about girls for a second. And like, let's make sure you have male friends and you're interacting with them. And then let's make sure, okay, maybe you can start having some female friends, interact with them. Then we can start looking at your own internal beliefs here, because he's got like a porn addiction over his failure with women. I guarantee he probably hates himself a little bit. There's some type of like, I'm not good enough. There's something wrong here. I think like trying to process that, address that a little bit, realize that at the end of the day, like getting girls isn't the whole thing, right? You can have some type of self-love and self-acceptance before you even get to the getting girls part. And I think, setting his own goals where it's like, I want to like fuck a girl, that can be like super stressful in itself. I think just setting a goal that I'm going to go out and just do some social events and meet some dudes, make some friends, start there. Like I have a few students like this that are in college and they just have like no friends, and they're like, I feel like I've got a miserable life. How do I get girls? And I'm like, all right, well, let's take like 3 steps back. Let's just go to some events at college, make some friends first. And it's not, as you said, like maybe this guy hates that. Like some of these guys are like, no, I've called you because I want to get good with women. And it's like, yes, but this is our first step. So that is maybe like an angle you could take. But I mean, I don't know this guy.
That's a great idea, actually, because he doesn't really have any friends. And I think he does want friends. So that's a good starting goal. But I mean, also another interesting thing to think about is that like we all have different levels of resilience, right? Like I would consider myself extremely resilient. So I can take setback after setback after setback after setback for years and still like be very persistent in achieving my goal and not give up until it becomes, well, no, I don't think I've ever given up on any goal. I mean, I gave up on being a professional snowboarder when I basically tore my shoulder and I was like, okay, literally every time I take a fall, I'm going to wind up needing an operation. But aside from that, I really don't give up on goals. And I'll just like PWF was not financially successful for the first few years. It just wasn't. I was just racking up massive credit card debt to just pay my bills, which were not even that big at the time because I was living like a shitty apartment. But like I just never gave up. I never even thought about giving up. Same thing with game. Like I never thought about giving. Like I was pretty bad in the beginning, but I never thought I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna. If this doesn't happen, I'm just going to give up. I'm just like, nope. As long as I can sense that I'm making even a tiny amount of progress, even half of a percentage, that's good enough for me. But some people give up very, very quickly. Like some people have very low resilience. Like the first setback, they give up, and they have very little discipline. They can't, even if they are working towards their goal, they don't have the discipline. Like you see this a lot with like people who join the gym on New Year's, but like none of them ever like stick it out past a month or two. And to me, it's like the easiest thing. Like how hard is it to commit to working out 3-4 days a week? Like that to me, I take it for granted. Like that's the easiest shit ever. Like that's not the hard part. But like most people can't even do that for some reason.
I think with the setbacks, it's calling it setbacks too. Like throwing in the towel and basically saying, okay, this girl rejected me. Marcus, you used the example before. You talk to some girl, she's like, oh, thanks, that's so nice of you. I'm married. And then guys will be like, brutal rejection. It's like, what do you expect her to just drop her panties and be like, well, fuck my husband. Hey, like, I'll just get with you. That's not a rejection. Or they'll go out and they'll talk to like 5 girls and maybe all of them say no, or they're like grateful, but they just don't give you a phone number. And they'll go, see, this is not going to work. Like, I'm never going to get there. This is hopeless. It's like, no, bro, the victory is that you went out there and did 5 approaches. How are you not clapping yourself on or tapping yourself on the back right now and giving yourself a big fucking high five? This is amazing. You're calling it a failure when really it's a victory, or it's a learning experience, or like, it's not a mistake. It's not a fuck up. You've learned something. Like Marcus, you before said the guy who took a screenshot of the girl, like in Snapchat or whatever, and he might be like, oh my God, I fucked this up. I've screwed up. It's like, no, you've learned something. Don't do that next time unless you ask. Now you're smarter, you're wiser, you're going to do better next time. I think maybe.
Or just fucking use another phone to take the photo, like everyone else.
Alex knows. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like this shit isn't a failure. It's not a fuck up. Guys are just so like, it's almost like they're standing there just like so terrified of the first mistake. They're waiting for it to happen so they can run back to like comfort and complacency. It's like they want it to happen. Like there's almost a part of you that wants it. You're like, please, can I just give up? This cold approach shit is not for me. Can I just have one brutal rejection so I can go home and never do it again?
I don't know. Oh, very true.
Yeah, I think it's that growth mindset. Like the way Alex speaks about himself, it sounds very much like ego detached. So a lot of guys do think it's just a matter of like, am I attracted to women? Yes or no? Let's go find out. And then they find out and the answer is like, no, I'm not. So it's like, all right, GG, right? Game over. Whereas I think for a lot of us, it's a matter of, oh, this version of me, like these behaviors right now are not working. Awesome. Like let's adapt them and change them. And we see like there's actually a path to success there. Whereas I think for a lot of people, they pull up a guitar, play some strings, and they're like, oh, I'm not good at guitar. Like I'm done. Oh, I'm not attracted to women. I'm done. Whereas I feel like, and it's a product, like you need to have this mindset to become successful. So it's not a surprise. Like it feels like all of us here have it, where at some degree, you try something new and you realize there is a path to success here if I keep adapting and changing. And I think that's what a lot of guys just need to come to the understanding of. There is a path there to be good at, building attraction with women or being good with women if you stick with it.
That's evident in every area of their life too. Their weight, the way they dress, their success in business. Guys are just bitch made these days. I was the biggest one. So, my friends have this, really big Red Pill podcast, and the girls go on there and they say, oh, if the guy isn't 6'5" and make $500K a month and have a yacht, then he's not good enough for me. Right. And I would, scream from the rooftops. And I still do think that women have almost these kind of like comically easy lives compared to men. Certainly dating is so much easier, but I'm going to go back a little bit on it. Guys are fucking mad bitches these days, bro. Guys are fucking pathetic. Because as dating coaches, we see the worst of the worst. I remember one time I had a guy, he wants to date a beautiful 21-year-old, and we're talking about, getting a whole new strategy, redoing all his photos. He's like, oh, no, dude, like, I'm sold. No, like the before and after photos are crazy. You're right. All my photos are unplanned. I need to like plan them with the lighting and the fashion and the location, the grooming. It's just that okay, I'm doing this like, I got to get a haircut. It said it like that. Oh, but like, I'm just thinking about like, when would I do? I got to get the front. I got to get a haircut. And I'm like, okay, you want to date the beautiful 21-year-old. And the thing that's between you and the beautiful 21-year-old girlfriend that's feminine, and you have amazing sex with her, and she makes you feel so happy, her feminine, soothing presence, but it's the haircut. Oh.
Yeah, dudes like that. Yeah. I think the big one to me, when I get a client, I sometimes mentally, like, in my mind, play a game like, what's the likelihood that they're going to succeed, right? Obviously, I want to help everyone, but some people I know are going to be like winners, and some people I think maybe will make a little progress and then they'll give up, right? Nothing to do with me. So I think it comes down to resilience and discipline. And you could give me, if I have a choice, like let's say me and Andy are doing a contest, like train a noob, and after 6 months we unleash him on the world and we see who does better. And there's two options. One is a guy who's 5'7", he's a bit overweight, and let's say he's like a 5 in looks, but he's extremely disciplined.
I'm taking him.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the guy. Versus you give me the other guy's like 6 feet tall. He's pretty good looking. He has a lot of money, but he has like very little discipline. And
well, whether it's short term or long term, right? Because the good looking guy will do better short term, but
better short term. Yes, that's why I need 6 months.
He'll quit. He'll quit after 3 months.
Yeah. He'll date like a 6.5 and be like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Versus the determined guy will keep going.
I don't know about you guys, but for me was when I got pretty good at game, when it was like really tangible. That gave me the confidence to basically do anything I want. Like, because whenever I think of a goal I have that seems like, okay, like I'll give you an example. I launched the app, AI Riz app. There was a bunch of other ones in the market. Right, we're making $10,000 a month in revenue right now. Pretty good, right? But my goal is to make $100,000 a month in revenue. That's a big goal, right? Like usually when I tell people that, they're like, I mean, I think, the fact that you're at 10, maybe get to 15 is actually already an accomplishment. I'm like, no, I want to get to 100K. And a lot of that confidence comes from the fact that I did the one thing I thought was impossible when I was younger, which is actually get good with women. So if I can do that, which seemed so impossible to me at the time, then why can't I do like literally anything else? I don't know if it's like that for you guys as well.
Yeah,
well, it's a virtuous cycle. I was gonna say, it's a virtuous cycle. Like if you think losing weight is really hard and you lose weight, well, yes, that does make you more attractive by not being a fat turd, and women will respond to you better by being in shape. But it's also gonna, again, that's what I say, it's like a synergistic thing, right? Because then that gives you confidence to make more money and solve business problems you never thought you could solve, and then you have more money to, I don't know, newsflash, chicks like money. Maybe not the number one thing, but chicks like money. And then, continue with the game, and they all help each other. They help in and of themselves, but then they give you confidence to improve in other areas as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you realize how full of shit you were with your limiting beliefs. Like you realize that you were flat out fucking factually wrong. And then the next time you go into a different area, like business or something, and your brain goes, I can't earn 100 grand in a month. That's crazy talk. You're like, shut the fuck up. I was wrong the last time I said I couldn't do this. And then I was wrong before that. And I was wrong before that. And I was wrong before that. I'm probably just wrong on this. Why don't I just try and see what happens? I think that is the main reason people don't succeed. Like you talked about discipline, Alex. Like, is it discipline, man? Or is it more just like I guess it's discipline, but it's also just like believing or like letting go of the limiting belief. Because discipline doesn't even matter if he doesn't even try.
Yeah. Well, if you have the discipline, like there's a lot of days where I don't want to do like some of the shit I have to do. Like a big part of what I do is answer questions in my mastermind group. That usually takes me 2-3 hours. Like there are days where I just don't want to fucking do that shit. I'm watching South Park on my phone, procrastinating, but I have the discipline. I know that every night I'm gonna do it. And if you break that cycle once, it becomes easier and easier to justify it every time. So I've been doing a clean paleo diet for 6-7 years. Haven't cheated on my diet once. I've been sticking with the paleo diet, like no cheat days. And I know if I take one cheat day, that I'm going to be motivated to take another cheat day. And then it starts being like I'm not saying that for everything you have to be like that. Like, I think it's okay to enjoy alcohol once in a while. I think it's okay to smoke weed once in a while. I think it's okay to enjoy life. But for the things like work-related stuff, I think you should maintain a high level of discipline at all times if you want to achieve, if you have ambitious goals, at least.
Yeah. I think people will then like make it all or nothing. Like they'll hear you, who's someone who's really good with discipline. And if they're not currently good with discipline, they just won't even try. Like you didn't wake up one day, Alex, and just be super disciplined. You built that.
Yeah, I built that over
That's
time.
what I mean. Yeah.
Decades in the making. Yeah. I mean, like definitely my upbringing helped with that. My mom was like, kind of like, yeah, I love you. You can do whatever you want. But my dad was like pretty stern. And I had a business when I was 13. Okay. Because my dad was pretty clear. He's like, look, you know, we are upper middle class. So he was like, look, your food, your schooling, education, you know, sports, we will pay for it 100%. But if you want toys, you want anything extra, then that's going to be on you, unless it's like your birthday or something like that, right? So I was like, had a dog walking business when I was 13. When I was 15, I was taking the bus into Chinatown and then fucking flipping Livestrong bracelets. So yeah, it kind of, you know, happened. But I really developed most of my discipline in my 20s when I was doing pickup and sales. But anyway, I feel like I'm kind of going on a tangent. Let's bust through some of these questions that are more dating related. Well, I think it's good for people who are interested in like discipline. So good talk. Did you see that clip of QB Cam Newton? I don't know who this person is, saying he demands a body count list from his girlfriend. Do you think it's insecure, feeling comfortable and stuff with guys that you were aware of? Okay, so the word here is demands, which I think is I don't think there's anything wrong with asking your girlfriend about her body count if you ask it in the right way. But if you demand it, she's just going to lie. She's either going to say fuck you, or she's just going to tell you what you want to hear. Right. So when you ask that question, the vibe has to be that you don't give a shit, that you're just curious. Like, yeah, I know all my girlfriends and my ex-girlfriends' body counts, right? But I asked it in such, like, theoretically it's possible, but I asked it in a very like non-judgmental way. And also I asked it after I told them that I personally fucked hundreds of girls, so I don't think it's a big deal. So I asked the question in a way where the girl wouldn't feel judged by giving me the real answer. So I think people do. Yeah, I think like, look, if the girl you're with, like take two identical twins, everything's the same, personality is the same. One of them has a triple digit body count. One of them has a body count of like 8. The chances of the triple digit body count girl cheating is significantly higher, right? Because she's more novelty driven. But I think people make the body count like almost the end all be all, and they ignore more important factors. Like a more important factor is, can this girl maintain friendships? Like, are all her friends people she just met 3 months ago, or she had friends for decades, right? Very, very important thing that no one ever talks about. Can this girl maintain a job, or is she bouncing between jobs every 3 months? Have you ever caught her in a lie? So stuff like that. So yeah, demanding anything from your significant other is not a good idea. But asking in the right way, yeah, sure, that's fine. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'd be curious, like, what he does with this information. Like, she gives like a list of like names. What's he gonna do? Like, go talk to these guys or message it, or is it just like a number, or is it like if these guys are too fake? Because this is like some quarterback, I think, right? Like he's some famous dude.
You know
but
what
it's
he's
like,
gonna do.
Like what? Like
he's gonna jerk off. He's gonna jerk off.
Yo, John. Hey, you don't know me, but you used to fuck my girl. Just want to touch base, you know. Like roughly, how many times do you think you've had sex with her? Like,
and could you describe like how her moans and like how could you describe your penis to me as it was going inside of her? Just like really paint the picture for me.
I want to show you one of our sex videos, and then you can tell me if you felt like she was more receptive or less receptive to you. This is going to be a long survey, so you might want to come by my place. We have a lot to discuss.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. And then like, yeah, I don't know. As you said, there's so many better indicators of if a girl is going to be faithful or not. Like, I could understand maybe if guys were fixated on all of these things. I'd just be like, okay, this is a guy that is just super anxious, super insecure. Okay, like this poor dude, but at least like the picture makes sense. But sometimes you see guys that are like so fucking worried about the leg count. And then you'll ask that question, like, how many friends does she have, man? Does she have like good relationships with her friends? He's like, I don't know. Why do I care? I don't like, she shouldn't have female friends, maybe is what they'll say. I don't know. But yeah, it seems like there's yeah, there's such a focus on the leg count when, as you said, it's a really poor indicator because the girl's just going to lie anyway. And then even when you do have the information, it's only really on these outskirts that it really matters, right? If the girl is like super promiscuous and going against these social norms. But a comparison, I looked up the data, and if you don't fuck around with it and actually compare to virgins, like if you compare a girl with a 5 leg count compared to like a 9 leg count, there's really not much of a difference at all in between like how much these girls are going to cheat. So it just seems like a weird fetishization to me of it.
Yeah, I think a high body count's kind of fucking disgusting, but I would say that other things matter more. And if you're going to be one of these guys that's equivalent to the entitled modern women, which I am, I'm the worst embodiment of that, where I want the girl to be 21, an 8.5 or higher, intelligent, no drugs, no tattoos, no piercings, obviously not a single mom, politically not a fucking lefty. I can go on and on forever to find that in one person.
Why no tattoos and no like I mean I get
because body modification is one of the most demented things you can do. Try to picture this, right? You have beautiful, feminine, collagen rich skin. I know your skin is masculine, you got hair and you got testosterone and whatever, but imagine you had like smooth collagen and progesterone rich skin, right? And then you're going to take a needle knowingly and scar your body and draw like a little fucking squiggle on it. Bro, when's the last time you looked at a tiger?
I think tattoos are fucking sexy.
When was the last? Okay, dude. Yeah, okay, that's you, I guess. But
so I'm curious, Casey. I'm curious. Like, is because one of these reasons I think I completely understand and get, and one of those I would be more curious about. So, like, if you're someone that just says this look on a girl, like for instance, when girls do their fucking eyebrows and they go up, I hate that shit. I think it looks so stupid. It looks like there's a slug on your face. But some people love it, right? Like absolutely love it. And so like if you see a tattoo and you just like, oh, I just like really, or some people don't like breast implants, right? Like I can get that. But are you saying that her character is bad because of the tattoo? Or are you just saying like, I just don't like the look of tattoos?
Yeah, the look is retarded. I don't think most people look at a tiger and say, well, the tiger is such a beautiful creation by God. But you know what? If that tiger just had a butterfly drawn on it or a fucking Christian cross on the tiger, he'd look so much better, a heart. So that's the first thing. I just think they look fucking retarded. I think it literally looks like if I were to like draw on Alex's face right now, a picture of an octopus. Because
I agree. Face tats and neck tats are gross.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, I think it's a preference thing. I think so. Neck tats on girls look fucking hot. But okay, yeah, so, I get that. Okay, so just like a preference on looks.
Like pain, you're probably thinking about, you're thinking about consensually beating them up because they like pain or whatever. But which I'm a very consensual beater upper. I'm a very I am number one. Okay. Anyway, so the other thing is it's a poor sign of groupthink. Someone else asked in the chat, I don't want to go back to, he said the question like, why are Colombian girls that come from quote unquote easy mode countries, when they come to America, they get ruined and they're all difficult now? It's because of groupthink. Nobody really, even to me to some degree, all human beings, women are especially susceptible to this. People kind of just, it's like going with the flow, being brainwashed. It's like these liberals who like whatever the hot thing is, like, oh, the new thing, I'm supposed to think about this new issue, right? And then they're all obsessed with like whatever the hot new issue is. And tattoos, I have to do so much work. This is why, men should lead, and why I say, and when I don't know if other guys mean this too, but would say, protect and provide for a woman. I mean, protecting her from herself, going down the feminism rabbit hole, piercings, tattoos, getting sugar daddies, being tempted by OnlyFans. These are things that she's going to absorb from her environment. And if I'm going to get along with a woman,
girl, there's no reason why she should have a sugar daddy.
Yeah, I want to stick on the tattoo thing for a second. So like,
let's wrap it up. So it's just another poor indicator of her being brainwashed by groupthink, because I don't think that anybody, like gold and diamonds, no one taught you that shiny objects are beautiful. You are, because it reminds you of water. Like, how a river sparkles in the sun. That's why you like shiny objects, because your DNA is programmed to recognize water glistening in the sun. So no one taught you that diamonds or gold were pretty. It's a natural human thing to think they're pretty. Someone had to teach you that drawing a stupid design on your body was like hot or like pretty or the thing to do. And it's just, I hate groupthink. I don't want, I'm gonna have to unprogram so much bullshit from my woman's brain that it's just like, it's another indicator that she's susceptible to groupthink.
So if there's a girl that likes art, right, a particular form of art, would that be groupthink for you?
No, art is a natural human thing, right? Like human beings across all cultures have an appreciation for art.
So what if she puts art on her body?
I guess that depends on the definition of art, right? Because, you know, art to somebody could be a big pile of shit. That's the thing about art. It's subjective, right?
Well, yeah. What if there's a painting she really likes and she gets that tattooed on her like torso?
I think that's about as retarded as, I don't know what's an analogy. I like this shirt so much that I'm just going to sew it onto my body, because why ever change? Like, I just love this shirt. I could get the shirt cleaned. I could use soap and water. The shirt, why don't I just sew the shirt into my body? It's like, dude, I can't even begin to explain what's wrong with that.
Yeah, but I mean, the analogy doesn't really work there because little like hygiene issues and things like that. And it's just not really practical. But like,
I mean, I'm on the spot, but like that's.
Yeah, I guess my point is, I understand that I don't like the look of it. I get it. But this is an indication that this girl is a follower. She's not an independent thinker. Like, I think if we were to look at the data, people that get tattoos are probably more open to experience in terms of the big 5 personality traits, and are probably more independent and less probably groupthink than everyone else. So like that theory, like I'm not too sure about. Like if I saw a girl with a tattoo, I think she's probably more open and probably more individualistic than everyone else.
What, open to drugs and cigarettes and getting tied up by you? Yes, but open to critical thinking.
No, open to all. Yeah, open to individual group thinking. Yeah, 100%. And so I can understand, like, if we just don't like tattoos on girls, like I get it. Like I have students that just like don't like tattoos. That's fine. I have students that don't like breast implants. That's fine. But like, I think I would be careful of what we're reading into the behavior that the girl is doing, especially like these days, especially like tattoos back in the day might have been indicative perhaps as like drug use, or perhaps of like jail time or some shit, or perhaps of being in a gang, right? But I think like now it's become a lot more normalized. You might argue that's groupthink, but like it's a lot more normalized. And like most of the girls that I know with tattoos are really cool people. And like I think they would make good girlfriends, maybe not for me, but like good girlfriend. I don't think there's something inherently bad about them, or I don't think they're like sheep without like their own individualistic.
Also, I think it's important to mention that tattoos have been around for about 5,000 years. They're not like a new phenomenon.
Oh, true. Yeah, I'm talking about like I guess like Western idea of tattoos, I guess. Yeah, but you're right. That's true.
Fucking technically, I don't know. The first computer was around in 1950, you know what I mean? But like technically things have been around, but like nobody had tattoos in the fucking colonial times. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, no, not really. It was more of like certain tribes would, right?
Yeah, like, but like they also used to like do human sacrifices and shit.
Yeah, and I guess like, well, my last point here is like, I think there's other ways you can test if a girl is someone without her own thinking, I guess, or really susceptible to bad decisions. I don't think for me, tattoos would be like the thing I'd determine. Maybe it's a sign, like that would be all right. That's a sign that maybe she's open-minded and open to new experience. That might mean drugs, alcohol, right? It might be doing some crazy shit. Or it might mean that she's very autistic and, you know, starting her own career and doing her own thing. Me personally, I wouldn't rule it out based on that, unless you just hate tattoos. I think that's fair.
But I want to ask one follow-up question before we get off this. I'm going to skip the liberal thing because that's going to be a fucking hour-long So what's the issue with like light drugs? I mean, I understand you don't want a heroin addict or a cokehead, right? But like light drugs like weed, occasional shrooms, like what's the issue with that?
You know, occasional, and I put the emphasis on highly occasional weed or cocktail wouldn't be a problem. Anything more than, and what I define as occasional would be, you know, max once a month, you know, for the weed, and cocktail, I don't know, once every 2 weeks, you know, that's not a problem, of course, but drugs are bad. Okay. Drugs are bad. Okay.
Drugs are good.
Okay. They literally are toxins to your body. I want her to have kids. I want her to be a healthy vessel for my children. And I think drugs are something that dumb people do to numb themselves and escape, because ultimately they take, and I'm not talking about like nootropics or, you know, quote unquote, you know, peptides or anything. I'm talking about like, you know, drugs. Yeah, they're unhealthy. She's going to age. She's going to look like shit. It could affect the baby if she did it during pregnancy or
even the pregnancy thing we can,
if you know, afterwards.
Agree on.
Yeah, I just don't. Who wants a junk? Yeah, it's going to age her. I don't know. I mean, so many reasons.
It depends on I think you're putting all drugs in like similar categories. Certain drugs, like yeah, I agree. I would never date a girl who's a heroin addict, who's addicted to heroin, who's addicted to coke, and who's addicted to meth. Right? Those are the ones that would just be like no. And those drugs will age you and cause all kinds of other problematic behavior. Right? But like I don't know. Have you ever like smoked weed or done like any drugs at all?
Yeah. No, I've tried almost every drug.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you understand that like some of them actually can like help boost your creativity, can make you more productive, can make you more successful. Some of them are just a good way of like having like shrooms. It's a really good way of like just introspecting about your life and kind of figuring out, okay, am I going in the right direction? Or, it takes your ego out of the equation. And so it allows you to think in a very unique way. I think, like, for example, for someone like me, and I haven't smoked weed in like a year and a half because I just personally don't need to anymore, but because I discovered kava. But before that, for me, weed was like at the end of the day, like when I'm done with all the work, it helped me sleep. It like de-stressed me. And there's really like in moderation, especially if you're vaping or doing edibles, there's no downside to weed like at all. I don't think there's any downside to shrooms in moderation either. So yeah, I just wouldn't put them like, I don't know, to me, like the idea of like me and my girlfriend were planning on like on an occasion maybe doing shrooms together, taking ecstasy together, and that's like a very bonding experience. Like that's going to bring us closer.
It wouldn't matter to me. Like if she wanted to roll on New Year's, every New Year's, pop a Molly once a year, whatever, shrooms once every 3 months, introspective, we do it together. I think having sex on shrooms would be crazy. I think you'd like meld into like.
It's weird. I've done it. It's weird. Yeah. It's a different story.
I can only imagine.
That's amazing. I guess my question for you, Casey, is like, how would you feel if there was a student that said, hang on, your girl does MDMA, and you're like, yeah, but like every few months and we do it together, it's a really bonding experience. And he's like, dude, I would never date a girl that does drugs. That's fucked up. Like, ooh, man, like dude, my standards, if a girl even talks about drugs, touch drugs, not doing it. Like, how would you feel towards that type of statement?
I don't know. I say, yeah, cool. To each their own, bro.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right. Yeah, I guess like for me, I'd want to like understand. I'd probably challenge that thinking. To be fair, right? I'd say like, why do you think it's so bad? And again, he might just think that like, oh, hang on, MDMA. It sounds like she's a drug addict and she'd probably be a horrible mother, and she's probably like selling her body to get money for that. Like I used to. The reason I used to be like this when I was like fucking 17. I thought drugs were the worst thing in the world. Like if someone did drugs, I thought they were like going to prison or something. I was like so naive. I grew up in a Christian household, and so like, I guess, yeah, I probably would. I like to challenge when guys tell me a preference. I like to challenge to understand if that's an accurate representation of what their underlying value is, right? If the underlying value is that my parents were drug addicts, so like that idea, it just freaks me out. I don't want anyone around me like that, even if it's just a small thing. It's like, okay, I get it. But if you just think like, oh, I think all drugs are bad. Well, yeah, as Alex said, not all drugs are bad. It's not all the same. Sometimes I have students that say like, I need a girl that's a brunette. I don't want to date any blondes. Like it's a stupid example, but it's like, hang on, why? Right? Because if they're just like, oh, all blondes are dumb, it's like, well, hang on a second, that's not true, right? Like I think that's a silly preference to have, I think, for that guy. So the reason I keep harping on this, I think the underlying principle is what's important. It sounds like the big underlying principle for you is you don't like to look at tattoos. But yeah, I think the underlying principle is
here's one thing I wanted to say too.
Sex on weed feels really good also.
Yes. Holy shit.
Crazy, dude. No, I used to be a big pothead. I gave it up. I've smoked 6 times in the last like 6 years, basically. One thing I was going to say too. So unfortunately, someone pointed us out in the chat. The vast majority of women in most cities in Brazil are tattooed. Certainly Rio and Sao Paulo. There may be a couple cities that are an exception, but I would say up to 80% of the attractive young women, maybe 90%, have some form of a tattoo.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I fucking know so. I live here. I notice every tattoo because I find them disgusting, and I'm like, Jesus. When I find them, I'm like, of the girls that I've had quasi relationships with, either 3 months, 6 months, where we became almost kind of boyfriend and girlfriend since like 2022, every single one of them was not left politically and didn't have any tattoos or piercings. And like, what are the odds that out of 80 to 90, if you throw piercings in the mix too, it's virtually 100%. There's maybe 2, 3, 4%.
Well, every girl has a piercing.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean ears. That's fine. And we don't need to go into why that's fine, but it's a whole nother argument. Because I was, well, why are ears normal? And anyway, the fucking bull, the fucking Spanish bull that like chases you, the fucking septum. I just think of them like she's gonna like charge me with her fucking horn. But yeah, every girl that I've ever had, something like long term with, where like after I busted my nut in her, I didn't want her to leave because I actually found her charming and interesting, was a girl with no tattoos and no piercings. And I've been with, hotter girls that had tattoos or piercings in some cases than the girls that, kept around. So it's just, it seems to be that is a good litmus test for how much we're going to be on the same page in life in general. So if you think that tattoos are dumb, you don't just think tattoos are dumb. We probably agree on a wide dimension of other things.
Yeah, it's interesting. If I look at like my girlfriends, like my current girlfriend, the one before that, and the one before that, they all had a small amount of tattoos. But I find like, a moderate amount of tattoos attractive too. But they all had like one or two somewhere on their body. But if it's like a personal preference, I think that's totally fine. Everyone should have a different personal preference.
But again, I feel like the underlying value here is like a conservative woman, right? Or am I wrong?
Well, I guess it could be. It could be, yeah.
Because like that's why I was like, before you're before you're like kind of mentioning that, like, it sounded like you want like an open-minded individual girl. Like, it sounds like you want like a conservative. And if you're looking for someone that is like conservative, it doesn't have that high of a leg count, has like a lower like open-mindedness to like drugs and going out and things like I agree that probably not having tattoos would probably fit that archetype a little bit more, and so that could be something that you 100% look for.
Right.
I guess I would agree with that.
Well, we'll get into the conservative versus liberal thing next time. All right, so let's keep going through some of these questions. We're actually only one question in. What are some good caliber ways to sexualize a conversation during a first date that isn't "so do you like it in the butt"? Well, it doesn't really get any better than "so do you like it in the butt." But if we can't use that jewel of a pickup line, again, it's a question that it's situational dependent. There's not like no one here is going to be like, I have this pickup line that you can always bust out on a date. I mean, I have some questions that you could, reuse, but it has to be situational. It has to be based on what the girl is saying. I've done like many videos where I do live demos. Like one that's interesting, it was me and this chick, Eden, on the couch, and she's just like no pre-planning at all. She's just like busting out, saying random shit, and I'm showing guys how to make it sexual, like on the spot. But so yeah, I would say just check out the videos I have on that. I don't know if you guys have anything to add.
Agreed.
If you're unsure, then just start out with subcoms. It's going to be like the easiest thing. Just hold more eye contact, speak in a low tone, add a little bit of a smirk. If you get into like a sexualized state, like imagine yourself like this girl you're on a date. She wants to fuck you. She likes you. Okay. You want to fuck her. All right. So just start acting that way. And then, as Alex said, there's going to be conversational topics. You can ask about her ex-boyfriend. You can make some cold reads. You can ask like how honest she is and do like a question game back and forth. There's like ways to get into it. But first step is just act as if you guys are about to fuck, and it's going to start feeling like the sexual tension there.
You can also just start talking about it. Like, and if you're nervous to start talking about sex, just segue with like relationship topics first. Like, how's Tinder been treating you? Have you met anyone cool recently? And then you talk about your stuff. But I usually just start talking about sex. Like, I'll just straight up autistically in the middle of the fucking conversation be like, so like, what's on your sexual bucket list? And then we just talk about it. Like sex, kind of like Alex said, like, what Markus said. After you do this enough times, you just become comfortable with the topic of sex, that it doesn't feel like some weird thing that you can't just talk about. And like, if you want to talk about it, you just start talking about it. If you want to talk
Andy,
about
don't you think that the caveat is that like you have a sexual like Tinder profile, so it's more congruent when you start talking about sex halfway through the date without like that much.
Yeah, but like half of my coaching clients don't, man. They just have like a normie, like a normal profile, and they just start talking about sex at some point. And they're not always perfect with how they bring it up. You don't always have to be smooth, but like if it's something you want to talk about, you can just start talking. Yeah, I agree. You don't have to just be like, "Do you like it in the butt?" But you can just sort of segue to it.
Yeah, personally, I rely on it heavily. What's your appearance on Mark saying, "I've never heard of this person"? Do you guys know who this is?
No idea.
What was that?
Do you guys know who Mark Singh from Unapologetic Man podcast is? I've never heard of this.
Oh, no. I can look it up.
My opinion is he has a cool name. Sounds like a porn star name.
Yeah.
The Mark part? Yeah, great name.
No, fuck the Mark part.
It doesn't sound like anyone here knows him. What's up, boys? Great to see the expert panel back together. Hell yeah. Okay.
Bro, this guy has like 62 views on his last video or something. Yeah.
Okay. In night game,
Not time ago, I probably had that many views too, but sorry.
No, you have a lot more. In night game, how long should a set be for a number to be solid? Think about my sets quick. Again, it's quality over quantity. Okay, you can spend 40 minutes with a girl and it's a shitty number. You can spend 3 minutes with a girl and it's a solid number. If you want a general guideline, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes. You should be able. That's enough time for you to have a solid phone number. But yeah, more is not always better. If you think about it, like this is why I personally, and this is like I disagree with a lot of PUAs on this, or a lot of PUAs disagree with me on this. Never been a huge fan of instant dates unless you're like in that country for one more day and you're just trying to pull like that night. But if you're just like in your home country and you got like whatever, you're not planning on leaving anytime soon, then that hour you spend an instant date, you could have used to approach 5 more girls and get 3 more numbers. So yeah, again, it's just about the vibe. It's about how receptive the girl is, how compliant she is. Not so much about like, there's no real time span I can give you.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I definitely have a different opinion here, I think. So, it's going to depend on your skill level, of course, right? But once you have good enough skill level, I think that the longer you run this set, the more solid you can make it. So, and I think that nice point is probably honestly like 40 minutes in when you get to the point where like this girl's down to fuck. So like 5 minutes, you can get to a goal compliance wise, typically where she's down to like reply to you. 10, 15 minutes, you can get to a point where like she's down to go on a date with you. I think more like 30, 40 minutes, you can get a point where this girl's down to fuck. And so if I've got a goal that I'm attracted to and it's going well, I would usually spend that extra, let's say 30 minutes to take a girl that might reply to me or may go on a date to me to a girl that's like down to fuck and I can just get her to come straight round to my place, is opposed to using that opportunity cost of 30 minutes to approach maybe 2 more girls and get them to a point where they'll reply or go on a date with me. I think that's more efficient. The problem here is with most students is with that extra 30 minutes, they're probably just going to fuck it up, right? Like they're probably just going to either stagnate and not build any more value or do anything, or they'll just come off as needy. But even then, I would say that 30 minutes in that second half of the interaction is really where these guys need to practice and spend time to improve. And so that's where I'd want them to spend. It's really easy to go out and practice doing a bunch of like approaches or like 5-minute interactions. It's really hard dealing with sexualization like that guy mentioned before, or to deal with like going for the pull and dealing with those objections. So even with my students that like, I know they spend an extra 30 minutes at probably just fucking it up. I'd rather them fuck it up and get better at that 30-minute time frame as opposed to like setting up a lot of dates or just grabbing a lot of numbers. But yeah, that's my kind of views on it.
The way I kind of think of it is I want to see this through to its logical conclusion. That's what's in my head. And so I'm basically continuing forward until she says she doesn't want to go any further. So like, I will hang out with a chick for half an hour the entire time. Like, we'll be moving forward. Like, can I kiss you? We start making out. Do you want to come back to my place? Like, until I get a no, and then I'll say, cool. Like, let me take your phone number, and then I'll leave. So, kind of the same advice as you, Markus.
Any advice on building more consistent games? Some days I'm social and approach people easily. Other days I can barely give. Yeah, this is just all comes down to discipline. That's normal to have the fluctuations where you feel more motivated, more social one day and not the other day. Discipline is what's going to get you to approach on those days where you're not feeling it. And sometimes you might not be feeling it in the beginning, but you start approaching and you loosen up and you actually start feeling it. So discipline, use your conscious willpower. That's basically as simple as that.
Yeah, I'd say focus on the other areas of your life. Owen Cook used to talk about the phenomena of your state set point. So some guys have terrible self-talk, they're depressed, or they're just in a very analytical coding, numbers, work, problem-solving, entrepreneurial mindset. And then they have to like put on the Superman, like they're Clark Kent during the week, and they have to put on the Superman cape and get drunk. And it's this big thing to get them in a happy social mood. Versus if you can design your lifestyle around where you're taking time to get a quick lunch with the boys, you're outside your head, you're talking, shooting shit with the boys, or you're going through, walks through the mall as part of your daily life, and you've timed it so right when you're finishing the gym, the mall is full of a bunch of girls who came to the food court during their lunch hour break. or anything you can to design your lifestyles. You're just generally happy, more outside your head and more of a flow state. And then you can just snap into the social state rather than having to do this big shift every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to just add to that too. It really depends on why this is happening. And Casey, as you mentioned, like maybe they are having a very social day and they're feeling really good about themselves. They have great self-talk. And that's the day they happen to feel, in the flow, in the zone. And then these other days, as you said, they spend the whole day coding. They look in the mirror, they feel like they look like shit. Then they go out, they get one rejection. Then they're like, fuck, I can't even give a compliment. Like, it's really important to understand what's happening internally and being aware of that. So just fucking pull out your phone and start journaling shit. Like, what am I feeling right now? What thoughts are coming up? Why do I think that's happening? And then we can go back one step and actually start correcting it. Like you mentioned, I think they're really good ideas. And that way, like, it's not just going to be, oh, I happen to just feel this today. It's like, no, there's the cause and effect here. How can I fix the cause to create a better effect? And I can go out and, able to give a compliment, able to game it, be social.
Yeah, well said.
I just got kicked off from using Unreal photos of Tinder Unhinged. What do I do? Well, first, just email me, DM me if you have my number, contact me if you're in the mastermind, make a post. First of all, we need to figure out if it was just a coincidence or it actually had something to do. Personally, I don't know of anyone getting kicked out from using Unreal. So this would be the first. But yeah, we need to analyze the situation a lot more, and I will help you. But you just reach out to me like somewhere, like either in the mastermind or if you have my number on WhatsApp or email or something like that, and we'll go from there.
Does Match Group own both of them? They do. So I've heard that there are some cross bans. Have you heard this? Like, you get banned on Hinge and then you automatically get.
You're right. Tinder and Hinge are owned by the same group, but I find that Hinge bans to be very hard to get around versus Tinder bans are very easy.
That's what they say. Yeah. Because they're independently run, semi-independently run companies owned by the same conglomerate. But yeah, I'm just curious about that because I kept saying that was going to happen with AI photos, but I thought they were years away from detecting it. But again, we don't even know if that's the actual reason. So
yeah, people get banned all the fucking time. We just spoke about this, right? Like, something happens and people just like jump to a conclusion of what it is. Like, unless they send an email saying your photos were AI, like, the reason is probably just some girl reported you. Like, students get banned all the fucking time. We get banned sometimes. Like, that shit happens. And yeah, for no one else to get banned that I know from AI photos, is probably not the case. Yeah.
But the only thing that makes this interesting is it's two different platforms, right? If it's like, oh, I got banned on the one dating app I was using, it must be because of the AI photos. Okay, that's a big jump. But what are the odds that he got reported by some?
I think he just said Hinge. No, I don't think he said.
He said Unhinged. The grammar was brutal.
I thought he said Tinder and Hinge. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah,
but either way, if he's
grammar was brutal. But I think that's what he meant to say. Tinder and I think he meant to say both platforms. But then again, I have heard of like the cross ban. So again, we don't know. We need more data. But
yeah, we need more data. With Julius, the guys whose stuff I recommend, we've done on the live stream where we took his AI photos and we tested them with these AI detection websites, and they pass because he's learned how to put stuff in the photo to make it pass the test. But that's only if you save the photo the right way. You have to hit download, and some people do save as because it's faster. So there's a chance maybe that would have happened, but I don't know. I just need more info. But anyway, here's a question for you, Casey. Can you guys explain why women that come from an easy mode country is really different in America? Okay, so why is it that like a Colombian girl? I just also kind of disagree with this premise. Like, my girlfriend was born in Colombia. She moved to America when she was about 13, and she is sweet, feminine. Like, I don't know, can't say anything negative about her. But anyway, so the question is, why do, like, for example, some Colombian women, they're like good girls or whatever, then they come to Miami or LA and they become bad girls? I think the answer is like kind of what you already said, which is like social conditioning, right?
Yeah, group thing. That's it, brainwashing. This is why, what was it, 5 years ago, we decided to pause the world for a year and a half or 2 years. This is why people get tattoos and piercings. This is why people only care about whatever the current political issue is. This is why people think that, well, if they feel like a woman, even though they're clearly a man, I should call them a woman. Or, I can go on and on and on. There's a million examples. But yeah, the answer is groupthink. She is around a different set of values and beliefs. And she goes, well, all the women, and women are more susceptible to groupthink than men, but men are extremely susceptible as well. And she goes, all the other women here are nasty, rude, entitled cunts who only date 6'5" millionaires, and I'm prettier than them, so I should be the same way as them. And then they just.
I guess that explains why there's people who think Trump is a good president.
Exactly. I don't think always groupthink is a good president.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't think all the time groupthink is necessarily bad. I think having like shared social values and things can be a good thing. But I mean, that's a separate topic. I think what this guy's really seems to be asking is why are girls easy in Colombia, and then I'm trying to date Colombian girls in LA and they're not easy. That's how I kind of read this question. And the answer to that is it's competition, right? If you go to Colombia or you go to Poland or some shit and you're an American, oh my God, you're an American? You're one of those movie star guys? Like I went to fucking Indonesia, their capital, I forget the name of it. Dude, I walked into the zoo, bro, there's girls giggling and looking at me. Families are coming up asking to take photos. I'm the first white person they fucking saw, right? Like legit. I was like famous. And that's an extreme example, but like you go to some of these countries, they're going to assume you have a level of status and money. And you're like different. You're like the Hollywood guy, right? So you're going to have an implied level of attraction when you go here. But if you're an American in America and there's a Colombian girl there, everyone else is the fucking same as you. Or you're worse than everyone else there, right? Especially if you're in LA, right? They can find like guys with a lot of status. So suddenly it's not as novel. It's not as exciting. You're not as attractive. So you're not going to just have that initial like, oh my God. So sometimes it might happen if you meet these girls. Like sometimes you still get that if they're new to the city and stuff like that. But if they've been living there for a few years, like they know they get the attention on Tinder, they get the attention on Hinge unless you're banned. And you just don't have that competitive advantage anymore.
Yeah, it also depends on what she's been doing in that country. Like, okay, take two girls. They both got there 3 years ago. One of them has just been like going to college or whatever. Like, let's working a quiet job and spending time with her family and her Colombian friends who barely speak English. The other one has been going out partying. She's on dating websites. She may be on Seeking. Like where they're at 3 years later is going to be in very different places. Like even in a city like Miami. I meet Latinas who are like super sweet all the time. Like the place where I go to get my IV, the nurse there is like just the sweetest Cuban girl ever. Like doesn't party, doesn't really go out, just like likes to like have a drink with her dad, like very family oriented, like just the sweetest person ever, right? And she's pretty. She's definitely very attractive. And then there's the opposite, right? So I think also
to be clear, I agree with you on that. Like I agree, like a lot of Russian girls that went to Bali and shit, like all these girls maintain all of their femininity and maintain all of their values and all that. I just think in terms of how attracted they're going to be to certain guys changes. So like, these girls I think are like, there's this idea of like some red pill guys that the minute like a Colombian girl enters the American border, suddenly they're like fucking selling their body. They're like, fuck these guys, all this bullshit. No, I just think like,
or getting on Seeking. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, like, and obviously there's a part of that happens for sure, but like, a lot of these girls are just like the same values. They're very sweet. They're just, the competition of guys are going to be a little bit more picky than they might have been back in Colombia where you were the only American.
Markus, can I push back on that a bit? So
100%.
What you're saying is 100% true. For example, let's say an above average American, a lot of passport bros are far below average, but a lot of them are many orders of magnitude above average guys. So let's say an above average American goes to Medellin. The average guy in Medellin is about 5'3" or 5'4", maybe 5'5". He probably makes about, they're short. They're tiny. They look like little monkeys. They have no muscle mass whatsoever. They have weird, effeminate personalities. They're like, ay, sí, que pues, papi, no es que, mira, o sea, like they.
I'm seeing these fucking Colombian beefcakes, man. They're fucking yoked out of their mind.
In America.
No, when I went to Medellin last time. But,
well, at the gay men's spa, I'm sure there's all types of good-looking dudes.
The blowjobs are just very cheap, but go ahead.
But on the streets where like normal guys go, or let's just say, the Philippines or Thailand, obviously the average above, a lot of passports of the above average guys are going to be taller, more masculine, richer, more alpha, all these different things. And you're going to stand out, blue eyes, green eyes. Maybe they're groupthink and brainwashed to believe that white skin and blue eyes are more attractive. Maybe there's a partial, DNA truth to that, whatever. That is like 100% true in some cases. But tell me why this then, Mike. All right, Mike, tell me this then, Mighty, my buddy. Brazilian guys, especially in Rio and Sao Paulo, they're fucking jacked. I feel like they're about 6 feet on average. The average height's, maybe not actually that, but like, dude, these guys are tall. They're jacked. They got tattoos. I think it's dumb, but girls like them. That comes in all shades and sizes, from white, green eyes, moreno with green eyes, all this fucking shit. They're rich. There's more helicopters and heliports in Sao Paulo than any other city. I just sold a 4K program to a Brazilian guy today. He paid me, paid in full, done. There's a lot of fucking money in Rio. There's a lot of fucking money in Sao Paulo. These guys got money. They're tall. They're alpha. Why do I do way better in Sao Paulo and Rio when my competition is greater than it would be in a city like, let's say,
can I just comment on something? I just quickly looked this up. Both Colombia and Brazil have the same exact average height for men at 5'7".
I saw that. I think
that's
5.
Exactly. That's because you're
5'8".
talking about it. That's why I specifically said Rio and Sao Paulo, because if you go to El Choco in Colombia, it's like this, right? What is the gene pool in Southern California versus rural Vermont? Well, in rural Vermont, they're all white. In Southern California, they're all Latinos. Brazil is about a 220 million person country with a lot of indigenous people, a lot of Amazonian people, a lot of people in the north that are indigenous and very, very short. Rio and Sao Paulo, no, they're fucking tall, bro.
So I'm curious, what is your theory behind why you have more success in one place than the other?
Well, can I hear your answer first, and then I'll give you mine? Like, because example, like in Los Angeles, there's tall, rich, there's a lot of competition of guys there. Take my word for it, Brazilian guys are a lot better looking, a lot more alpha than these dudes in LA that are my competition. Why do I do better in Brazil than with greater competition?
Yeah, without knowing you that well, I could have a few theories based on like my own student stories, I guess, or like my own experience in different countries. So like, for instance, like I go to Sweden, bro, these guys are fucking big dudes, attractive, like some of the most, without saying too homo, okay, some of the most attractive guys on the planet. I do really well there. And for the reason that there's a novelty in being Australian, there's a lot of good characteristics or stereotypes from being Australian. The novelty of having like someone new there. Also, the fact that I am like traveling implies some level of status. And also these girls can be a little bit more open-minded with me. But the biggest thing, the guys in Sweden are absolutely fucking pussies, right? Mm-hmm. That's the big difference. Now, when it comes to Brazil, I've never gamed there, honestly, but a lot of women say these guys are too like machismo. They're a little bit too, like they don't listen to women. They are all like players is what I hear from them. They're all like fuckboys. They aren't good in bed. Like they're very dominant, but they just don't fucking listen. So whenever I'm talking to a Brazilian girl, these are the things I touch on. That's why I can do well with them. Is I can be like, I'm actually going to listen to you in the bedroom, right? You talk about pussy and they're like, guys in Brazil don't eat pussy. So I think that could be an angle, but I don't know specifically with you. Like, I'm not sure what the comparison would be with you in these two countries. That's why like I'm curious to hear what you think.
Let me actually give my take on this because I have an answer. So I actually think in reality, your competition is less in Brazil because I think that there's a lot more passport bros and tourists that go to Medellin than they go to Brazil. I think Brazil is much less common. And therefore, in Medellin, every girl has already, either who wants to, has already hooked up with or dated a bunch of gringos. Novelty effect has worn off. Versus when you're in Brazil, I think the novelty effect is much stronger because most of those girls have never been with a gringo, and they're like, "Ooh, American guy!" Right?
Sorry to cut you off. There is a negative to being a gringo in Sao Paulo, especially Rio. It's debatable. I'll give you that, and I do think there's truth to what you're saying. I'll let you talk again, but like there is zero gringo novelty, gringo pedestalizing in Sao Paulo. They do not like Americans for the most part.
Well, they might not like Americans as a group, but I think a lot of girls are fascinated because you're just different than what she has. Like it's just you're different, and I think that fascinates her. Versus in Medellin, you're not that different because there's been plenty of other people that look like you. So I think that's just really what it comes down to, and like girls seek difference. Also, people glorify things that they haven't had. So it's like, oh, Americans, he's probably blah, 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 blah. And then a girl in Colombia fucks a few Americans. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers are selfish as fuck. They bust a nut in 30 seconds and they never call me again. So that would be my answer.
Yeah, no,
to be fair, I've got a low sample size on this, but like my students that are American that went to both Brazil and Colombia, like, talked about it being easier and like had a good experience there. That could also be like their bias, maybe. I'm not sure, but like it's a small sample set, but like they all had success there. So yeah, I'm curious. What do you?
And some guy even said becoming Tyrene said, no, wait, no, it wasn't him. Yeah, dude, Brazil is more competition. Anyway, so yeah, here's my thing. I think it's a high tide raises all boats type thing. I think the women there are not brainwashed by feminism to hate men. I think a man starts on an equal playing ground, whereas America, it's like men are in Australia, same thing. Men are trash, men are garbage. I think it's kind of like a guilty until proven innocent thing. And I think they still appreciate masculinity and male leadership. And that's why I do better there versus America. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to deal with this girl who's going to try to butt heads with me right away, try to dominate me. She's not feminine. Again, I can tell she's been brainwashed, groupthink into hating men versus in Brazil, a guy talks and they're like, oh, snap, a guy. Well, let's see what it's like. Let's see what happens versus in America. They're like, ew, a guy. I just think, yeah, it's because they don't hate men there.
Like, just to be fair,
I'm not sure.
You're describing only a small percentage of girls in America. I mean, it's city dependent, but if we look at America as a whole, maybe, if I'm being generous, 10% of girls fall in that category, maybe. In a place like Miami, maybe 15, 20%. But the majority of girls, even in America, they don't hate men. They're not like men are fucking dog shit. That's just hasn't been my experience from going out in Miami and all these places. Hasn't.
My experience is whenever you ask a girl how your dating life is, 99% say rubbish. Like, I don't think they hate men. They're really nice to me. But like, I think when I talk to Brazilian girls, they more like expressively, and again, I'm talking about the ones that travel. So again, there could be a bias in my selection here. But all these girls are like Brazilian guys are douchebags. Like they're fucking rude. All they want is like to fuck you. Like they're so romantic. They pretend they want to be like their boyfriend and then they don't. Like they probably go off a bit more than American girls, are a bit more feisty when they do it. But I agree with you. There's probably a more entitlement that happens in America and in Australia. And I think women there are told they deserve a lot more. And these women are maybe more career oriented these days. I think that plays a factor. But I feel like this image of whenever I'm actually like speaking to women and like gaming them, this image of like girls in America or Australia just being like, ooh, a guy, ooh, gross. I don't want to talk. It just like isn't a reality for me. Like it just doesn't seem to happen that often.
It happens occasionally, yeah, but not often. Like I would say another thing. Oh fuck, what was I gonna say? It was something about this whole topic. I forgot what I was gonna say. It was gonna be something really epic, totally would have changed everyone's mind, but I forgot.
Yeah, and I like when you go to Poland, for example, and you speak to Ukrainians, like a lot of them will stop and speak to you more so than I think Americans will. Like Americans will say, I'm busy, I gotta go, right? No one will say rude. Whereas Ukrainian women are like, can I please go now? Is that okay? It's like I have some students that like go on Insta dates with these Ukrainian women. They're not interested, but they're just like being really nice and sweet. But again, like it's not sexual. Right?
Answer this question then. Why would any foreigner, right? And again, we're not talking about an American. So there is some level of instant celebrity of being an American, especially a white, blue-eyed American, maybe. Debatable, depending on the place. But why would any foreigner from any place, a guy from any Western country, for example, even like say India, which is not a Western country, I know, but why would everybody typically do better outside of Canada, New Zealand, Australia? Like, why is passport broism a movement? Why is it a niche? Why is it a thing that, you know, a lot of content is made about? Why does every guy universally say Eastern Europe was better, Latin America was better?
I think we can ask the girls, right? Like if I ask the girls why they like me as an Australian or why they like my friend as an American, is they will point to the celebrity status thing. They will say like my dream is to
a Polish guy will do better in Poland than he will in America. Does that make sense? Like a Polish guy doesn't go to America and they're like, oh my God, you're Polish. Like, it's not just like,
I am not.
I would say they probably have more success in America, Polish guy. Like I have a Polish guy that's in Australia now. One of my students, he's having more success in Australia than he's having in Poland.
Yep.
And like he complains that he complains that the Polish girls hate Polish guys.
They really
has
do.
more success in Australia.
In Poland, you know, it's a really good text you can send when a girl doesn't respond. Ignore me like a random Polish guy. They all
exactly.
get it. They
all
all
hate
find
Polish
that
guys.
shit funny.
What are their personalities like?
What?
Of Polish women or Polish guys?
Polish guys.
Is it my student or the general Polish men?
No, like the general. Like, are they totally?
The girls will complain. Well, my interpretation of these guys are just like pussies, and they just But like if you speak to the women, their complaint is that these guys are like alcoholics. They don't really have a career. They're very soft. They're not like socially calibrated. They're bad in bed. They're very judgmental of women. So like very conservative mindset. Like these are the complaints they have. Obviously, it's not every Polish guy, right? Like I've seen Polish guys in the club that like do what I would consider well. Like they look like they're very charismatic dudes. Obviously, they're not every single guy, but yeah, like my Polish student is having more success in Australia than he's in Poland. I think like when I speak to the girls about like what they like, even Indian guys, right? Because I had an Indian taxi driver in Poland that was like, bro, I kill it here. I was like, you silly. Look what the fuck. And then when I have Indian students, same thing. There's a stereotype there, which is these guys are exotic. It's almost like they consider them black, basically. It's like the same thing. And yeah, I mean, that's what I noticed. I mean, I'm not disagreeing that there's a difference in femininity or conservatism or like how these girls might act in relationships a little bit. But like this idea that women in countries that are more feminine are just going to sleep with more guys or be nicer to more guys or like more sexually open to more guys, I don't think is necessary. I don't think it's true at all, actually. I think you're still facing some level of like selectivity from these girls or competition from these girls, even if it's in like a conservative country.
Let me try to answer your question, Casey, because we might actually largely agree on this. So assuming we're excluding certain countries like China, we're going to exclude Saudi Arabia, we're going to exclude like most of Africa, most Middle Eastern countries, right? We're sticking with Latin America, any type of Latin America. We're sticking with Southeast Asia, and we're sticking with Eastern Europe, right? Can we agree on that? That's where most of the passport bros go. I mean, maybe Russia.
Where the girls are hot, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some hot Middle Eastern girls, but anyway, that's the whole side. So I think
you can't tell when this is all you see.
and
when you
that's why you gotta go run around, just go ha ha.
Yeah, and if you get a day game full, you go to jail.
Christ. Fucking hell.
Two reasons, I think, primarily. Number one is that I do agree that girls in those countries, on average, will be sweeter and more feminine. So I'll grant you that. But on average, this means that there's still plenty of sweet, like authentic, honorable women in America. Just the average is better in that country. And second of all, which I think is the biggest factor, like by far, is kind of what Markus said, which is that you're exotic and that you just have a lot less competition. The term is called sexual arbitrage, but your sexual market value goes up when you travel to a place like Colombia or Brazil. Now, in Medellin, from what you said, is that it sounds like there was just too many gringos that went there. So maybe that's not really applying anymore. I don't know. When I was there.
No, Medellin, Medellin is still comically easy. You just have to understand the fact that they're all sex workers. Yeah, but.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about paying for sites. I'm talking about just regular, like.
No, like you can fuck them for free, but they're charging other men for like. They're hoeing themselves out to other guys. But you could hit it for free, but she's charging other guys for
some of them, yeah. I mean,
no, not some of them, all of them, bro. I lived there for 7 years. I'm telling you, bro. It's slowly.
Unless it's radically changing through years, like I've hooked up. With
I would fill a party bus with 30 girls on it and like pretend like I was taking a nap and just hear them talk, bro. it's sickening.
I mean, have you?
But do you think there's like a selection bias there, though?
Well, somewhat, but put it this way. I lived there for 7 years. I'm fluent in Spanish. I integrated as much as I, possibly could into the culture. And I don't need to like get into a whole thing, but like, just trust me, when you live somewhere for 7 years, I mean, every single girl that you just see the evolution of them. I mean, dude, I've been living there. Well, I lived there from 2016 to about 2022. So maybe that's more like 8 years actually. And bro, they all end up doing it. I just feel like if you look at my social circle in Sydney, you'd think that everyone in Sydney is a fucking
OnlyFans girl, sex worker, like these are the types of girls that I spend a lot of time with, right? And I think they're cool people, and I like value their friendships. But like that would be if you went out on the street just in Sydney and just pulled a random girl for the street, like the chance of her being OnlyFans sex worker would be like incredibly low. So yeah, okay. I guess like
do you want to tell you some things, bro? Like when my buddies wanted to find hookers in Medellin, they would go to Facebook and type in, the search. They do a people search, city of Medellin. They would type in a common Paisa name like Laura Maria Alejandra Ramirez or something, or Estefania or something like that. And the city of Medellin, for some reason, the algorithm generally tends to show you like more. You get some ugly ones, but it gives you a mixture of like more of like the pretty Estefanias or the pretty Alejandras. And they would just start adding these girls on Facebook and ask them if they would, fuck them for cash. It was like 80, 90%.
That's selection bias too, though, because like my thinking behind this is these girls are probably advertising on Facebook, right? Organically. They're probably getting a lot of followers, a lot of friends. These are the ones that are going to pop up first when you type in someone's name, right? Like I think a better way to select for this is maybe just like go out onto the street and find a random person.
I think I need to fill. If I could just fill a room with expats that live there, they will all ask you for money eventually. You cannot date a girl, you can't smash her more than 3 or 4 times with her starting to ask you for money. Even the guy becoming, I agree, Casey Medellin is easy mode, and 97% of them sell kitty. Like, dude,
97%. Okay, I would say that
it's just part of their culture, man.
I've had sex with like 20-ish girls in the city of Medellin over the span of 3 trips, and maybe I would say 1 out of 3 in some way at some point in her life has engaged in some type of sex work. Usually it's like not hard sex work. Usually it's like occasionally with this guy, blah, blah, blah. But like, yeah, I mean, like, did you not encounter girls who had like normal jobs, like pharmacist, or she worked in a doctor's office? I mean, there's plenty of those too. I think last time I was there was 2022, and that's when you said you left. So we're kind of left at different times. I mean, I will give you this: if you walk around the main area, El Poblado, Park Lares, at like night, you will feel like it's all sex workers.
Bro, you're. But if San Javier, Robledo, Aranjuez.
But let me just make one. But if you go outside, if you go to like Laurales and you walk around at night, it's going to be a different experience.
Bro, Laureles is Poblado Part 2. I'm talking Aranjuez, San Javier,
Envigado.
Yeah, bro, you're talking about like, yeah, whatever. I just wish like I could get a group of guys that were in here.
I mean, by the way, I'm not disagreeing on the premise that there's probably like a lot of girls that like charge for sex. Like I agree. It might even be like a big problem, especially like if you're a white guy going there, you might even get targeted a little bit for it, right? It's just when I hear like all the girls are sex work, like there's a part of me that would be like, it just can't be all the girls, right? Like maybe it's just like this big like a hyperbolic statement, which I get, I understand, but like for me that would be like crazy if I just went out like day gaming, pulled a girl, or like just grab one girl and like would speak to her, and there's like a 90% chance this girl's like a sex worker. Like that's just, I don't know, that would be like crazy for me.
Like, what do you think is the percentage? Like, if I'm going to be very loose, I'd say maybe 30% of girls in El Poblado. No, in all of Medellin, 30% of girls in all of Medellin have engaged in some type of sex work at some point in their life.
No, 100. All of the attractive ones. Okay, like rich families aside, daughters of politicians who have unlimited money aside, girls who met a boyfriend who was rich and then married them and was provider at a very young age aside, but it is actually all of them.
So you think it's like 90% plus?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess we can just agree, disagree on that one. I will grant you that I think culture in a lot of these Latin countries, especially Colombia, does basically almost poisons these girls and leads them towards the direction of a sex worker. Like not my current girlfriend, but 2 girlfriends before that, like she told me that basically like her dad was like, yeah, your job in life is to just find a husband. And I think you should and the mom's like, well, we should get her a titty job because what man is going to have her if she doesn't have big titties? And it's like there was never any like encouragement for her to do her own thing, to figure out what career she wants to pursue. It was always like, you're the woman. Your only job is to get a husband. That's all you have to contribute. But anyway, that's a whole different side thing. All right, let's fly through some questions.
That's our second question.
Yeah, right.
This is fun. I find this really, this is interesting to
I'll say for one
through.
more, boys. I'll bail out after this, and then you guys will actually get a chance to talk anyway.
Yeah, I'll probably
No. I appreciate going back and forth. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. No, Andy, you can't leave. We're going to talk shit about Casey as soon as he leaves, so you got to stay for that part. Like that's
Casey's all right. I like Casey.
No, he's a good dude, but he's challenging your like fucking ginger supremacy, you know. So
exactly,
look,
they can do
one ginger in the chat.
Yeah,
okay?
True.
That's why he's leaving.
Have a beard off.
Yeah, see, I'm stepping aside for the real.
You could just shave your beard. We could keep you then.
I'd sooner die. I'll just acquiesce.
Yeah, it would not look good. I saw some dude shout out a girl at the bar. He didn't ask for a pull. He went home with her number. She went right back at pull. But yeah, I mean, I think we've all seen that. And I think when I was like a noob, I kind of experienced similar shit like that. I have a variation of a story like that I've told a bunch of times. Yeah, if a girl's DTF, you got to capitalize on that. Like, otherwise, she probably will go home with another guy. And you know how responsive she's going to be to your number? Probably not that responsive, right? Because she already got laid. She's going to be much more responsive to the guy that actually fucked her. So that was just a mistake on that guy's part. I mean, I don't know what else to say besides that. All right, let me pull up an actual question.
Anonymous Coward, by the way. What a great username.
Fucking great username.
The first honest username in the chat.
Okay, here's a good one. I'm a virgin. I'm supposed to meet and hook up with a girl on Friday, but she told me to go out and sleep with a girl before I meet her. She doesn't want to play teacher. What should I do? Okay, I would have probably not told her you're a virgin to begin with, but at this point, the damage is sort of done. So obviously, like if you can get laid before Friday, that's great, and you should go out, do some cold approach, but you know, don't pressure yourself. Like if you can just I think this is a white lie. You know, if she asks you, be like, yeah, I did. Now I know what I'm doing, and then just fucking fly past it. Like, don't worry, you're in good hands now. Okay, I learned all the basics. So yeah, I would just try to make it happen, but don't put any pressure on yourself. If it doesn't happen, just like pretend like it did.
Listen, whatever these softies say, the best advice you'll ever get with this game thing is LCS. Lie, cheat, steal, my friend. Tell her you had a fucking orgy before.
What are you stealing from her?
Her soul, her I don't know, whatever. Just steal money from her purse when you're done fucking her. Anyway. Lie, cheat, steal, tell you had an orgy, watch a lot of porn, take notes, and then just show up. All right. I'm out of here, boys. Thanks for having me. Good debate, everyone.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Next time. Come back next week.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
See you, dude.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, respect for this girl for just being like, yo, go fuck someone else, okay? I don't want to have to play teacher. I don't want to be the dominant one here. I love that honesty, right? Like it's really hard to pull out the context here, but it sounds like this girl's just like pretty open. Sounds like she's down to fuck. Sounds like she probably doesn't want much more out of this. Like, I don't know if this is like a girl you've been speaking to for a while, just some random Tinder girl, but it's like she's been pretty honest about all this. This is going to be controversial advice. Like, if you want, like, go fucking hire a prostitute and just, if you're really that nervous, like, yeah, practice, right? And just, you can speak to the prostitute, be like, look, this is my first time. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you like walk me through, how does this feel? What about this? You could practice fingering, you could practice eating her out. Like you could just actually learn and gain some confidence from the escort and then go back and fuck this girl. Or I've had virgins that honestly, with enough knowledge, they were confident enough. Like they were like, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to eat this pussy. Like I've fucking never even put it before. Right. And they do actually fairly well. I've had virgins that have like tied girls up and put blindfolds on and shit. So, I mean, it's going to depend on how confident you feel here. You can go get some experience and like try fucking another girl. And I agree with Alex. I probably just wouldn't mention you're a virgin if you're confident enough. Otherwise, like if you want to just hire an escort and get some practice in and like get her to give you some feedback, I think that's great. Or if you're confident enough, you can just go in and she can be like, did you lose your virginity? If you practiced, be like, shut the fuck up and lay down, right? Like just go for it. So it's up to you. It depends how you feel, but that would be
that's interesting. When you first started giving that answer, I was like, yeah. But like as you were talking, you kind of like convinced me that this is actually, I don't know if this is what I would recommend, but it's actually a decent option. Just to get some experience, and but also I think the biggest thing is don't put pressure on yourself to be good in bed. Okay.
Yeah.
Like no one's good their first time. If you suck, that's okay. It only gets better from there. Trust me. I was horrible. I lasted like 40 seconds my first time. Okay. The girl probably thought I was still fingering her, and I'd already come down her stomach. Also, I would recommend taking some Cialis and Xanax or Klonopin beforehand. It'll help you make sure you get erection, and also you'll feel a lot more calm and chill. So if I was really, really nervous for something, I would just take the occasional Klonopin or Xanax. I think that stuff can help a lot. Andy, you have anything to add?
No, I agree with everything you said. I was literally going to say you could just go to an escort and ask her to teach you. Like, that's not a bad shout. I don't know what this girl is. So this girl's like happy to keep seeing this guy, even though he's a virgin. Like, she just
no, they haven't. They haven't. I don't think they've met yet, or they definitely haven't.
But they've obviously like gone on dates or something. Like, you can keep dating this chick. Like, you can say, look, you don't want me to fuck you, but like exactly like Markus said, like lay down on the bed, I'll eat your pussy. Like, if you don't want to have sex yet until I'm good at this, cool. We can make out. Like, we can do other shit.
No, definitely have sex. Definitely have sex, but don't put pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
How long do you have, Andy, in terms of questions?
I'll stay for a little bit. I'll stay for a few more.
Okay. All right. Good.
Give us some juicy ones. Give us some good ones.
Okay. Casey, I want to get excited for my Philippines trip. How many girls will I get in 2 weeks if I get 4 new ladies a month in LA? Is it true Philippines 10x is your results? Look, for some people, Philippines 10x is their results. For some people, it 3x is their results. For some people, it's 50%. For some people, it's 15x. Really just depends on so many different factors. I don't know exactly how many girls you will fuck. It depends on how good your profile is, how much time you put into it. But yeah, I think 10x more matches is pretty reasonable, which could lead to 10x more dates. Here are just 2 pieces of advice I would give you. Number 1 is really maximize your profile as much as possible beforehand, specifically Tinder, but Bumble to some case as well. If you don't have good photos, go the AI route, get those done. They're pretty quick, get those done in a day or 2. And then, so make sure you have good photos. That's number 1. And number 2 is avoid blatantly sexualizing unless the girl really gives you the green light. In fact, avoid like heavy sarcasm or just too much humor, at least over text, because girls in Southeast Asian countries really a lot of the time just don't get sarcasm. So keep it simple, keep your texting simple. Something that would be considered like a little simpy in America might actually be good in the Philippines. So that's my advice. What do you guys have anything to add?
No, I think that's good, man.
Okay.
Anytime someone says, how many results am I going to get? I always say, like, it depends on you. Like, you're not passive in that. It depends on how many girls you talk to, how much effort you put in. Are you going to go outside and talk to girls as well? So, like, take ownership of that. Go play the numbers game harder.
Can you have advice for Switch and BDSM? How can I find more Switch women? Being a dom constantly is exhausting me. So Switch is someone that like goes between being dominant and submissive, right? Is that what it means?
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are much better equipped to answer this.
I always look masculine, but have a strong feminine side to me. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough here because most women are going to want to see the dominant side of you, right? Like you could find maybe on some kink sites or maybe if you screen hard enough. But this is basically the same advice I give with many other kinks or many other dating advice, which is you always want to start off with your strength, with the thing that the girl's going to find most attractive. And then she can find out other things about you. You can get into preferences. So like one kink that I really like is like great play, right? Is like ravishment play. But I'm never going to be on a date with a girl and she's like, oh, what are you into? And I'm suddenly like, yeah, I like to tie you up and for you to scream no. And like, she's going to like freak the fuck out. A lot of girls, even the ones that like this might freak out if they think it's going to happen like right now when there's not much trust built. So I would start, you like dominance, right? Like, so start with being dominant, right? Tie this girl up, blindfold her, talk dirty to her, do all that. After a couple of times when she's like, this is really fun, Now you can start to explore fantasies. You can say, what else do you want to try? What do you like? Some girl will say, like, I want to be with another girl. Cool, you can have a threesome with her. Some girl might say, I don't know, like they can come up with her, maybe they want wax play or something. Then she could say, what about you? And I would filter this through a masculine lens. Instead of just saying like, oh, I want to be like tied up and pegged or something. And the girl's like, oh, that's not what I expected. Is you could say like, look, I really like the idea of BDSM and Tantra. And a big part of that is switching and polarizing between like the energies. So it's really nice to be dominant and in control and tell you what to do. I love that. But sometimes it's awesome to like recharge myself in a way and experience the other side of that polarity. So having you be a little bit more in charge and where I can relax into my body a bit more so that next time when I come back and I'm dominant, I feel like I can truly be dominant. If you say it like that, no girl's going to turn around and be like, you know, this other girl, I don't want to play teacher. I don't want to play the dom. Like they'll turn around and be like, that sounds actually really exciting. And some of these girls actually, they might enjoy being dominant, right? Like they might actually like that. So I would always start with the angle that the girl's going to like, start with her kinks, and then work yours in, whether that's having threesomes, whether that's being dominant or being submissive or whatever it might be. That would be my angle.
Yeah, I'm a switch. And so the way that I've always done it is exactly what Markus says. I start out dominant. I'm dominant like 90% of the time. And then I basically at some point say, you know how you could be a really good girl for me? And then she'll go, yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, or yes, daddy, what can I do? And then I will take her hand. I will put my wrist above my head and I will take her hand and make her grab my wrist. And she knows what to do from there. Like even the most submissive women on the planet. And I screen for very submissive women because ironically, they are some of the ones who are the best at being dominant. Because I say, you know what would be how you could be a good girl for me if you pinned my wrists above my fucking head, if you blindfolded me, if you gave me a tantric massage for 2 hours, if you fucking edged my dick for, I don't know how dirty you want me to get, but if you did all of this stuff for me, wow, I would just be fed.
I'm joking.
Yeah, if you want to, I would. I would be so pleased with you if you did all this stuff for me. And then she goes, oh, yes, daddy, I'd love to do that for you. So yeah, always come at it from that like dominant angle first. And then you're basically like almost training her. And even again, the most submissive women on the planet love stepping into that dominant role. You just have to, first of all, show her that it's safe, kind of guide her a little bit and tell her what to do. Because a lot of women, especially submissive women, are just afraid of looking stupid. And so if you just say, I want you to blindfold me and take the lead, she'll go, I don't know what to do. I'll make a mistake. What if I get something wrong? I don't know what to think about. I don't know how I'm supposed to take the initiative. So you kind of lead her down that pathway and you're literally training her to be more dominant. And again, I really want to underline this, like literally the most submissive women are some of my favorite women to let them be dominant. Also, that's hot as hell, having a girl that's just so submissive and has never even considered taking the lead ever. And now she's doing that for you. So again, it's almost like she's serving you by being dominant.
I think that's interesting.
Really well said.
I think I misunderstood what like a switch actually is. I assumed up until listening to you guys that like this is the kind of guy that like will be dominant at one point and another point wear his girlfriend's panties or something, like something super submissive. But you're saying
there's that too. Like you can do that.
Well, no, I don't want to do that. But yeah, so like but it sounds like you're saying it can just be like little things like her taking the lead, which I guess is sexy. Like I don't mind, like especially when I'm tired. I like the idea of my girl giving me a massage and like being the one that like basically seduces me.
And you can get so fun with this. You can get so creative. Like you can literally say, like if she's coming over 2 days from now, you can say, hey, look, I've had a tough week at work. I'm super stressed. I want you to come over. And as soon as you come over, I want you to give me a massage. And then I want you to ride me on top. And I want you to do everything. And I want you to be a really good girl for me and just make me feel good. And she'll have time to think about it, what she's going to do. Like you're not basically putting the pressure on her in the moment to be like, hey, you've got 5 seconds. Hurry up and dominate me. And she's like, I fucking
hurry up and make this dick hard, bitch.
Yeah. So give her time to think about it and like let her sort of fantasize about it coming up to it. But yeah, you'll be surprised how many women almost see it as like a subservient thing. Like, oh, he's had a tough week at work. I really want to be feminine and pleasing for him. Part of how I can do that is I can initiate, I can give him a massage, I can ride him on top, I can do all the work. And he gets to just sort of lay there with his hands behind his head, just chilling and like having a chill time and she's doing all of it. Yeah, you don't have to wear panties, Alex. You can if you want to.
And it's really fun to see like a girl take charge. Like a lot of threesomes I had, there was a girl that I was seeing for a while. She liked being very submissive with men, but with women, she liked being dominant. And it was really cool to see her, like, you know, she's like asking me for the whip and then like whipping the other girl. She's getting like a lot of power out of this. She's like, do you have a strap on? She wants to put a strap on to fuck this girl. And it's like fun to see. And I think, like, as you said, that it clicked for me too. Like, yeah, this was a very, very submissive girl with men, and then like had this other side with women. But yeah, I think that's really awesome advice. Going that angle of like, be a good girl for me, I think is really cool.
Yeah, that's cool
and you can have so much fun. You can have so much fun with the threesome stuff. Like if the other girl is coming over, you say to your main girl, you say, all right, as soon as she walks in the room, as soon as she walks in the front door, I want you to grab her around the throat. I want you to push her down on her knees, and I want you to put the collar on her, and then I want you to strip her naked. And even though your girl is normally submissive, because you're telling her to do that, she's like, oh, well, I have to follow orders. So the other girl will walk in, and you just watch these two women literally lesbian dominate each other, and you're just like,
I don't think there's all the money in the world that would get me that would make my girlfriend agree to do that. She would be like too nervous. Like I remember when, fucking, I'm getting it. I remember when I had a threesome. You know, maybe it was my girlfriend, maybe it was a different girl. Who knows what it was? But it was two girls. I know that part. So let's be clear on that. That like the girl I was with, she needed to like, she was like BFF mode with the other girl for like an hour plus, and they would have kept talking forever if I didn't physically like move things forward. But they just go into like you're not even really saying anything. They're just like they're just chatting a mile per minute, and you're like, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Like they just go into like fucking girl BFF mode, and then you just chill, you know, check your phone for some shit, and then just at some point start escalating. Basically, that's been my experience.
At some point, you're just like, you guys should shut up and kiss, and then they do.
Yeah, dude. It's the girls. The reason is they always are worried. This is my feeling, is they're always worried about rejection from the other girl. That's usually concerned. Will the other girl like me? 100%. And so they tend to overcompensate with being super validating. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so nice. Please like me. Oh my God, you're amazing. And the other girl's like, oh, yours just as beautiful. Oh my God, your nails are so cute. Please like me. And they end up just like from that dynamic being like really tight, really close friend. And it's, you are a little bit cucked on the side, right? You are like, guys, does anyone think I look beautiful?
Get us a drink, babe. Get us a drink.
No, okay, you guys laugh. The first threesome that I ever had was a girl I was seeing casually at the time, and her other friend who happened to be a fucking virgin. So like that was how she lost her virginity. They both came over, and I pour them a glass of wine. As I'm pouring my glass of wine, I look over and they're both already making out. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess fuck the wine then. So they start making out, and I'm just I pour my wine, then I go and sit next to them. First threesome ever. I'm super nervous. I don't know what to do. So I'm kind of just sitting there going like, they're going to involve me at some point, right? And they start making out. They're naked. They then go into my bedroom, and they both start making out. And I'm just sitting in the living room, like sort of sitting there going like, they're going to invite me into my own bedroom, right? And so I sit there for like 3 minutes. Then I go and sit on the corner of the bed. And I'm like, they're gonna no, bro. Listen, I'm sitting on the corner of the bed, and back then I wasn't as masculine. I wasn't as dominant. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I was just kind of sitting there going like, they're gonna invite me, right? I sat there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and guys, I was literally at the point I'm just sipping my wine while they're making out naked, fingering each other and shit. And I was like, do I go in the bathroom and cry? I literally considered going in the bathroom and going, did I just get cucked? And then at some point I was like, man up. Reached out, touched them, and then we had a threesome. I literally like felt cucked as fuck in my own apartment at the start, and I was like, do I leave? Do I just go outside? And
you said you were going to go to the store and grab some things. Why don't you just?
Yeah. We need food for afterwards. Yeah.
Okay, let's do a few more questions. I also don't want to be a beta provider for girls who one night stands with players and make weight and spend money, but I also don't want to come across a player and listen. This is like a very easy solution. Just don't like be a provider and don't spend money on girls. Like, I think that like, look, I think there's nothing wrong with Ubering a girl directly to your place. I think there's nothing wrong with if you guys go out for drinks, you pick up the tab on drinks. But yeah, like just if you don't want to be the beta provider, then just don't be the beta provider. Like, don't fucking get her gifts. Don't pay for her. Don't take her out for expensive dinner. Like, it's just really as simple as that. I don't know if I'm missing something, but to me, this seems like a very easy answer.
It's a fear-based question, bro. Sometimes people get themselves caught up in knots. Like, they're so afraid of, like, what if I do this? What if I do this? And you're like, bro, calm down for half a second and just, like, don't do that thing. Like, you're not going to accidentally go, oh, I dropped my wallet. Oh, shit, the credit card's hit the FPOS machine. Oh, fuck, you've taken my money. Oh, no. Oh, goodness, how has this happened? It's like, just, like, don't do that. There you go.
Yeah, he's also worried the other end of the spectrum, which is like, it sounds like if I don't provide for her at all, that she'll just think I'm some type of player and won't want to see me again. Like, most girls don't think that if you don't spend money. So you like, experiment, test, like, see what happens. This might happen, bro. It might happen. Maybe you get a girl that turns around and is like, you know what? You didn't buy my drink. Fuck you. I think you're a douchebag. And yeah, you would come here and I'll end up saying, bro, you should buy her a drink. And then maybe, I don't know, you buy her a really expensive handbag and same, I'll come here. But like, it's okay to go make those mistakes. But in general, like, just buying a drink is fine. I wouldn't do any much more than that other than like Ubers or something. And she's usually not going to jump on either side of that spectrum.
Yeah,
a lot of these fears never come true.
Yeah, you're not going to accidentally become her beta provider. It's something that's going to happen because of decisions you make, pretty obvious decisions. So if you don't make those decisions, it's not going to happen. Hey, Alex, where can I buy your courses? I'm glad you asked. Just go to playingfire.com, click under Ultimate Dating Blueprint 2.0. We link it also in every video, except live streams, I think, so you can find the link there. But yeah, just go to playingfire.com, www.playingfire.com, and then hit on Ultimate Dating Blueprint. And yeah, there it is. Okay. Have you ever dated an Ivy League girl that's very smart and attractive, and how is it different? I don't think it's different, aside from the fact that if you're really dumb, she might look down on you. But yeah, I don't think it's different, a girl who goes to Ivy League. Have I ever dated a girl who went to an Ivy League school? I know I've hooked up with girls who went to Ivy League schools. I've dated girls who've gone to like public Ivies, but I don't know if I've ever been in a serious relationship with a girl who went to an Ivy. But I've hooked up with them. Nothing changes. Like, there's not.
I mean, I
talk about more intelligent conversations. Like, that's the only difference. You talk about,
and not even all. Like, I've dated some girls that were like incredibly intelligent, and sometimes like socially they're stupid. And so it doesn't even feel like you're having these like very challenging conversations. Like, so I don't know. Like, yeah, there's going to be a range here. Some girls are very intelligent. Some girls are very sociable. Some girls, like, yeah, I mean, you might talk about different things. You might interact in different ways. But like, as long as you don't feel intimidated here, just stick to the topics that you're like an expert at, and you'll be fine.
Can you go back to that question? I want to point something out there at the end.
Sure. 1 second. Fast forward a lot. Okay.
If you can't find it, that's fine.
Yeah, I found it.
Okay. So at the end, Sergio, you said, how is it different? Bro, stop focusing on how it's different. Focus on how it's the same. Because if you say it's different, then it's almost like, oh shit, I got to relearn everything all over again. Oh my God, like I have all this stuff that I have to figure out. No, she's a woman. Just do all the stuff that normally works, man. There might be slight things that are a tiny bit different, but you'll figure that out. So focus on more on how it's the same or similar.
Let's have a hard cap of 2 more questions, and we'll go through them fast, and that's it. Sartain has a video called "Why Pickup is Dead" because of social media, and seems to be adamant that social circles far superior to traditional pickup. Either Cole, do you agree? Well, I mean, like, obviously we wouldn't be doing our thing if we agreed with that. Like, Sartain is doing what basically a lot of us do, which is like using hyperbole and like strong marketing, which I don't fault him for at all. I don't actually think he truly believes that pickup is like completely dead. And I think that social circle, in my opinion, is not practical for a lot of people, or at the very least, it would be really require a lot of work for a lot of people, and they could get better results through either cold approach or dating apps in a much shorter time span. So that's just my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, the question you need to ask yourself, if I could teleport myself right now to a party where there was a good ratio of guys and girls and all the girls were 10s, do I think I can sleep with the girls there, right? And unfortunately, for a lot of guys in game or just like in life, aren't going to have success there. You're just going to be the guy at the party sitting in the corner, or you're going to try approach a girl. They're going to be like, "Ooh, who are you?" Now, it might be different if you're like a multi-millionaire and you've run that party and you have like some type of bikini brand, everyone fucking knows you or something. But if you're just using Social Circle to get into a good environment, you need more than just a good environment. So I think Social Circle is awesome. It's incredible. I think it's really good. A lot of my students do it if you are at that point where you're ready for it. Otherwise, it's not. And pickup is not dead. Obviously, like this is just a marketing ploy, right? Like you hit pain points of students. You like target competition. Yeah, I mean, it's just a marketing thing.
Yep.
Let's do the last question. Let me find something good.
So you'll find out if it's dead if you go out and talk to 100 women. Then you can tell us if it's dead or not.
Yeah, that's a good point, Andy.
Who's this person you're like arguing with, Marcus, in the chat?
Oh, not arguing. He just wanted to ask questions on approaching. It feels like he's very frustrated. He's open. So he just wanted us to provide him some opens, and then I did, and said it had to do with subcoms. And he's like, "How can I tell subcoms?" And then I said, "In our mastermind, we have videos of subcoms." And he's like, "I'm in your free group, but there's no videos in there." So I don't know. He just seems very frustrated. But
free
if
videos on Marcus's YouTube channel, plenty of those there. I mean,
yeah. Apparently, there's only one, and it's not good enough. So. Yeah, I mean, if you're happy, we can go through some openers now for him.
Yeah, sure. That's what we can end it off on.
Where's the question? I can't find it. I'm trying to find it.
As a quick, just side thing.
There's like 1,000 comments back and forth between me and him in the last 5 minutes.
This I don't know if this happens to you guys, maybe not, but this just is a pet peeve of mine. When people pretend like I no longer make dating content and all I do is like talk about politics or something like that, because I made one post. And it's like, dude, like, if you just search through my videos, you'll see that 98% of them are dating related. So yeah, Alex just stopped talking about dating completely. He just only talks about his fucking liberal politics. And it's like, dude, come the fuck on. So yeah, people like have a tendency to like pretend like our channels are very different than what they actually are. It's like, oh, Marcus, like you don't have any free videos available. I mean, like you might have one video at best. It's like 30 seconds. Like, where are your free videos, Marcus? It's like, dude, they're on my channel. They've been there the whole fucking time.
True.
To be fair, YouTube is just so dog shit that it's really hard to find like people's videos, and people just don't search. I just assume that like people aren't searching our channels for the video that they want. That's why they ask the question.
No, the truth is here, Marcus is like scared to answer that. That's why, I'm scared to. It's a good framing. I like it. No, the question is, what are good openers to use in a loud club environment?
Okay.
Hey, you're fucking hot. There you go.
Would you like me to? Yeah. So I think like number one in a loud club environment, my man, try to find the least loud part of that club. If you're in like Vegas going to like dance floors and shit, it's not ideal. Like just if I'm in Vegas, I'm finding like those day clubs that are open at night, or I'm doing like lobby game, or you find like bars, or you find clubs that aren't as loud. That's going to be the first thing. Now, if you're in a place that's loud, that's fine. What you want to do here is fucking yell, okay? Just be very loud. If she can't hear you, then there's no fucking point. Your opener's not going to work anyway. And then whether it's loud or not, there should be a ping pong back and forth. So many guys, the problem with the opener is they're like, hey, excuse me 1 second. I just wanted to say, I thought you were really cute, so I had to come over here and say hi. And the girl's like, what? And it's not even.
And then they just repeat the whole thing again.
I just wanted to say, and it's not even that they didn't hear you.
Say it again.
Yeah. And it's not even that they didn't hear you. It's just they didn't understand. Like if you got those moments where someone's like, hey, bro, and you're like, whoa. I'm not listening. Like I can hear the words coming in. I'm just not listening. So you need to say, hey, guys, 1 second. Hey, excuse me. A little bit of a smile, eye contact, as much body language as you can use. Get the group to look at you and then wait just one click, one moment. Have them want to be like, what is it? Now they're listening. Then you can say some type of thing to build suspense. I'm curious, can I be honest? So you could say like, I'm so fucking curious about something. Wait, let them say, what is it? Or you can say, can I be honest with you? Let them say, wait, what is it? Get them in. And then you can deliver your opener. Now, if you want to go direct, I just have to say your friend here, she's almost exactly my type. Now, I don't prefer direct as much. So I would usually say something that's really easy to answer, which is, hell, where are you guys from? And they're going to be like, we're from here. No fucking way. There's no way you guys are from XYZ. No way you're from Sydney. They're like, what? Why? And then you can start to go into a cold read. So these is an open that I would use in a loud nightclub. You can give it a go, and then you can let me know if it worked or not.
Yeah, I would just add just a few things. I do have a video on this, but anyway, that aside, first of all, if you don't like loud club environments, don't go there. I personally hate loud clubs. My voice, I have this thing, even though I can speak loudly, my voice goes out very easy. So if I go to a loud club, I'll lose my voice within 15 minutes guaranteed. And then I'm like, hey, like, it just sounds like shit. So, and also I just don't like blasting music. I don't like that type of environment. So I just don't go there. I go to outdoor venues, big outdoor venues where there's a dance floor, but there's also like a huge outdoor area where the music is not that loud and you can just have a conversation, because I feel like my humor, my conversation skills are where I'm strongest. Also, a good opener that I've just found that works well in nighttime environments is just going over there and saying, like, for me, it would be, hey, I'm Alex, just giving her your name. You're already assuming that you're someone that she wants to meet. So, hey, I'm John. Hey, I'm Alex. Like, I think that opener just works really well for me personally.
I kind of wish Scotty was here, because I think he would have a variation, like a different answer. He's very physical, especially in loud clubs and shit. You can't hear. So he'd just be like, walk over, just be like, hey, I'm Scotty, put your hand out, hold her hand, go from there, escalate. Like, that's an option too.
Scotty is definitely very, very physical. Probably the most I've ever seen who does it actually correctly and pulls it off. I've seen him do it. Scotty is also very confident. And
yeah,
I feel like if you're like, Scotty's like 100% confident or something like that. If you're like 60%, 50% confidence and you go super physical, super direct off the bat, it could have a different outcome. Not like anything crazy, but with the girls like, excuse me, like, so he pulls it off because his frame and his reality is so fucking strong, especially when it comes to this. My 2 cents. But yeah, cool. All right. So quickly, let's all share where people can find us. So Andy, where can people come and support you?
Just search for Andy Wells on YouTube. I am Andy Wells on there.
You're still under the Kill Your Inner Loser umbrella though, right?
Yeah, if you search for Kill Your Inner Loser, you'll find me as well. But Andy Wells is easier.
Are you still writing articles on your website?
Yeah, I still got articles on my website. I have a big, massive Tinder guide for free over on my website. Tons of articles. There's naughty pictures and naughty videos of me with girls that I date over there too.
Nice.
So all that good stuff over there.
And then Markus, where can people find you?
Yeah, I have one video on YouTube at Ultimate Man Project. You can go check out. Otherwise,
it's a good video though.
We have a mastermind. You can find links there. You can join for free for 2 weeks.
That's cool. All right, cool.
Amazing.
All right, guys, appreciate you. We'll be back next week. And
where can we find you, Alex?
You can find me on my OnlyFans. It is www.onlyfans.com/bigboy. Yeah, so
there's probably an OnlyFans called that, which is the funny part.
/husky love. Yeah, so
Oh,
you imagine he gets a community strike for linking to that, even though he was literally making it.
Oh my god, I'm not demonetized again.
Oh, fuck me. All right, guys, appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys next week.
Cheers, man. That was fun.
All right.